Oh god. I'm just putting on my gloves. That's the sound you're hearing. But locomotion. Mary, you have to do these polls in the Discord with pictures. I'm a yokel and I have no idea any of what them look like. You know what a Zaku 2 looks like, so help me God. We're building the Geara Doga! What do you mean you don't know what they look like? We're building one of them right now! What do you mean? Okay, you're not knowing. I've talked about the Danan gaze so many times. The Hyzak I don't talk about a lot because I don't care for the Hyzak's design. But what do you mean you don't know what the Geara Doga looks like? Ooh, I'd show you right now, but actually this is the lid for the Gunpla build. Oh. So I can't actually show you because then I'd lose all my organization. But I have all of the Gunpla parts bagged. I have all of them ready. Look at that. You know, very, very OCD, very autistic, you know. It's like half the branding of my channel at this point. But let's move this down and move this off. I need pictures. I'm a visual person. Ooh. And by the way, I got this. Oh my god, he always surprises me. Then again, this has been literally sitting there for an hour this time, just spinning away. You're disappointed as Opus. But at the store, I found this. And I got it because one little thing that I was told but forgot about. The reason I found it, the thing that made me decide to get it wasn't simply the fact that it's like the first 2.0. That is a razor. Let's get rid of that. It's a buzzer, not a razor, but... And that is the fact that... I hope you can see this. The camera's been a little weird with focusing. But, so let me say what this very fuzzy image is. That is an actual transformable, foldable, what's it called? Core fighter. At a 1/44th scale, which sounds like a terrible idea. But then I remember my old, what is it? My old G fighter had a core fighter. I don't remember having the G fighter. I don't remember having the burning Gundam. That's what it was. I don't remember having the burning Gundam. But I remember having its fighter because it looked like a nice like sci-fi hover car. But yeah, it has that. So I'm really curious on how it all comes together. Ooh. And it will be an RX-78 that I actually love and cherish and I don't like ruin within a week, hopefully. Thing is, I have like 7 RX-78s, but I don't take care of any of them, so I really have no RX-78s. I know it's a little blurry, the camera focusing has been off all day, and I've been trying to fix it before stream, and I've had to like plug it and re-plug it in. But now, hopefully it should be focused here for the actual build. Let's get the instruction booklet out and see. Yeah, that looks clean. Ooh, this is a little too close to the camera. Dishonor on my cow. Oh my god. I curse you, and I curse your cow, and I curse your goat. We should just be able to jump right into it. But let's get... Ooh. I was able to watch 2 whole episodes of Gundam Gundam X today, and I'm really proud of myself. Come on, come on, come on. Because Gundam X is real good. Let's get these pieces organized. Little dude. Hold up, let's actually get some panel lining on this little dude. But I have no free, I have no free graspers. But, let's get that. You know, I'm only realizing now that I painted this wrong. I painted these bronze, which looks nice, but I feel like maybe I should have painted them steel. Whatever. Let us get... No, that's not right. I really like my thumbnail today, and I don't know if anyone will get it. I feel like... Oh, welcome to Zabi. The original 1.0 also did that. Oh, did it? They have gone to the Fat Cat one I'd have gone for the Fat Cat one personally. It was, I saw it in the wild, so I got it. But welcome to Zabi. What was I about to say? Oh, I like today's thumbnail because it's... I think only Opus will get the thumbnail. Ooh. but I like it a lot. It's Hans and Franz from the SNL skit for Pumping with Hans and Franz. I am Hans and I am Franz, and we are here to pump you up. Oh, disclaimer, I'm bad. Let's get rid of the disclaimer. I mean, it also applies to Gunpla building, but you know, let's not have that up right now. Ooh. But for people on Twitch, the thumbnail is me and a Geara Doga in muscle suits pointing at the camera saying, "We are going to build you up." Let's get this guy have a little bit of contrast, even though we're never going to see him again. We'll never see this dude ever again, and or dudette. You know what? Let's get a little bit of contrast on him. Jag Dogas win. I have bad news. We've already built both high-grade Jag Dogas. Ooh. Though I wouldn't be opposed to getting at least a, what's his name? Gus? I cannot pronounce his first name, but a Gus Jag Doga 1/100th scale. I would not be opposed to getting that. Let's see here. Oh, we need polycaps. Let me look away from the chat, don't be naughty. This has a lot of polycaps, which has me a little trepidatious. Oh, the resin. Okay, no, we've not done the resin Snyder Doga. No, haven't you see? There's 3 1/100s. Oh, Fat Cat 2.0 1/100 scale. Yeah, Fat Cat's recommended a lot for third party. Let's see here. Must be a good third party company. Give me one moment. I'm trying to figure out what. Oh, okay, it's this one. I think the BGM might be doubled. No. You're right and wrong. What it is desktop audio is on. So that fixed it. Sorry about that. Really sorry about that. That was what was happening. Normally, why was desktop audio on? I wasn't clipping anything, and that's the only reason it's normally on. Whatever. Gus's Retail, Quest's P-Bandai. That makes me happy! Because I have no interest in Quest. I have absolutely no interest in her mobile suit at all, because I do not care for her character, as petty as that is. Oh, do you have to reverb? No, it's not reverb. As I said, it was just 2 audio sources in a way. Oh yeah, America. I've seen something in Stream Talk. You might not have seen it on Twitter. Okay, I'll check that in a minute. But if you paint it and also buy the P-Bandai Unicorn version of Geara Doga, the sleeves version, the sleeve is also pretty clean. Is there a sleeve high grade? I already have 2, but so I wouldn't get it. But is there a standard release, or is that P-Bandai? I wonder, because I know that for sleeves they just reprinted a bunch of kits and they're like, we put stickers on them, so you buy them again. We made them a different color and gave them stickers. Buy it again. Oh, it's only in a tri-pack. It's only in a tri-pack. That's even more confusing. But the unicorn version of Geara Doga, you can put the arm onto Quest Jag Doga and make the sleeves Jag Doga from unicorn. Okay. Okay, I see. Let's get this little dude back out. I don't know why, there's something very funny about having him held on like this. Like, he's just being held by the scruff of his suit. It was driving you nuts? Oh, it drives me nuts too whenever I hear it. Listen, thank you for saying something, because if I went back on stream and I just saw that and I heard that, I'd fucking bash my head against the wall. Geara Doga Isaac? And the Gaza Sea. Isaac? Is the Isaac the monitor version of the Hyzak? Isaac. Let me see. Oh, it is! It is the, like, not command unit, but it's the one with the big radar dish thing on its head. I thought it was. Ooh, it says that comes up so rarely, but the Isaac is this one. Ooh, it comes up so rarely that I just forget his name. And the Gaza, that is such a weird combination of mobile suits. Like, I understand, you know, the double packs from Gundam Wing, which are like the, I forget what they're called, but it's like the big gun unit and the shield unit. Why are these, what? Oh, wait, they're probably all sleeves versions. I was like, what? Why would these be in a pack together? This is the third one. I was like, why would these be in a pack together and they'd all be sleeve versions? That's the justification. I was thinking of just the Geara, just the Jag Doga being a sleeves version, so I was just imagining that and going like, that doesn't make any sense. Why is it just a sleeve next to like these two, like, was it these Neo Zeon war units? My brain malfunctioned a little. Let's get you in your chair. But welcome Zaza, welcome Ricey. Let me catch up to you guys. Sleeves were just the same mobile suit. Yeah, they were just the same mobile suits with a little different updated paint job. Both in models and in lore. Federation Doga. Is there a Federation Doga? Federation Doga. Are you making a pun on Federation dogs? No. Ooh. I don't know, I'm familiar. I think I've seen it before, but I can't recall it, actually. Neo Zeon High Command. So, what does the sleeves add to our mobile suits to make them better? Neo Zeon Engineers. Style. Not nothing, it gives them style, okay? Great for morale. It's wonderful for morale on the battlefield. Look up the Iwazak appearance in Unicorn. It's a very small clip on YouTube. Iwe. Ewak, Isaac, whatever. Same thing, which are... Unicorn. Videos. 38 seconds. Well, let me just put that there and try to line this up while that's loading. Oh, it's nice and gray, actually. I like how it look. Really? I'm watching the clip. Are they gonna really fire a giant cannon at a single mobile suit? Oh my god. Okay, it wasn't at the mobile suit. They fired it at the base. The mobile suit just got hit in the crossfire. Let's see here. That's its one appearance. It exists long enough to go like, oh yeah, we're boned. I do like how Gundam has super cannons on its ships. Just very super robot of it. But that's why I like Gundam. It bridges the gap between super robot and real robot. Ooh. Without Gundam, you wouldn't have the more grounded real robot. We can still have those little fun over-the-top elements. This and this. Oh, the blue Doga with a visor and Federation shield. Okay, I think I have seen that. You send it on Discord? Let me see. Okay. Nugget. Why is there a Pipkin Pippa reacting to something? Thank you, Gundam, for that Pipkin Pippa meme. Or Pipkin Pippa tweet. Ooh. God. If you want to see that, you can see it on the Discord, but it's actually really funny. Let's see here. Okay, so... Which piece goes where? This piece goes on this side, this piece goes on this side. And you go on this little tube. You have a bit of a weird arm setup. And then this goes... also here. But... okay, so no, this goes on first, is what I'm seeing. Has a kit now? P-Bandai Uzak unicorn color? Okay, yeah, it was mentioned that the Uzak was a part of a tri-pack with the Doga. But that's what Suzabi said, at least. How would you feel if the Federation still continued to advance the Zeta project, even when the Titans are all gone? What? I mean, didn't they kind of keep... didn't they kind of do that with the, like, with the mobile suit that Amuro is piloting at the start of Char's Counterattack? You know, and with the Delta Plus Gundam? Didn't they kind of already continue the Zeta program, even after the Titans? Let's see here. I can't wait for all your kits to arrive tomorrow. And welcome, Kays. Welcome, welcome. Did it? Let's see here. This goes... no. This goes here. Yes? Yes. This feels so hollow that I'm kind of terrified. I feel like there should be something in here because I'm so used to not just having a big hollow chasm in my mobile suit. I'm really terrified about continuing with that. Ugh. Okay, so what goes where? This goes here. There we go. Then this goes here. Yes. Yes. Then this goes here. As you can see, I have added a lot more gold to this kit. Ooh, in for a penny, in for a pound. And I think it looks really... I think the gold is a really good complementary color. Not sure how well it's going to turn up on stream, but... in person, it gives a nice metallic sheen to it. BRB? Continue these. They did continue the Zeta series. Well, most successful one is in Unicorn, combining the Methus, Jagan, and the Zeta, aka the Rezel. Okay. And then this goes here. I almost thought that as KSI because I pronounced the AI. KSAI Gundam is part of the Zeta project, so they did continue for very long. Jesus. Oh. Wait a minute. I should have painted this gold too. Give it gold vents, bruh. But no. I didn't, so I'll accept the fact that it'll just have boring gray vents. If I can figure out which side goes where. Everything is on camera. Oh, I forget. You know what I forgot to do? Where is it? I forgot to put that up. Okay, so where side goes where? Looks like this is the right side, so why isn't it going on? Also, I got a theory I had for Gundam X confirmed. And it's not like confirmed, but I have enough evidence where I'm like, yeah, I'm right. And that is that not the twins, they're not twins, but the brothers, the new type brothers, are double agents for double agent spaceoids. Because they awakened a guy into a new type and then immediately killed him. And they're just like, we gotta kill all the new types, bro, and then they just shoot him. And I'm like, I knew it. I knew they were double agents who were sent to Earth to make the UNE weaker for the spaceoids. Ooh, they're a preemptive strike, effectively. I knew it. God, that looks great already. And I'm really happy with this panel lining. How I got these panel lines was I literally just painted, and then I just took my thumb and did that. And it turned out surprisingly well. I mean, as you can see, it's consistently thick because my thumb, or because I would use the same thumb or finger each time. But as you can see, like, it kind of turned out pretty well with the lining. Though there's no line here, so I might have to go back and do that. I'm not quite sure if I will, though. But I'm so proud of myself. I predicted that very early on. You refuse to call it... Oh, the Kasi Gundam. Oh, the Kasi Gundam is a success. You know what? That explains why it has, like, the different face. Why it has the smooth face. That explains why the Kasi Gundam. Ooh. You refuse to call it the XI Gundam. Ooh. I don't know if it is Kasai or if it is Kasi. I just know it's Greek, and I just don't know the pronunciation. I know it's either one or the other, though. But it is KSI, but I don't know if it's KSI or KSI. Ooh. I did open with spinning tonight. Wait a minute. We did open. We opened on the table. We just didn't have the mobile suit up. We had this. This was literally spinning. What do you mean we didn't open with spinning? We literally... Don't try to gaslight me on my own stream. I know my incompetence, but I know I'm not that incompetent. Uh-oh. Oh, no. I was incompetent for a moment there. I was like, wait a minute, I'm missing the piece. It's already built. So let's go and put this here. Yeah, okay. This goes here, and then this goes here. This could use some panel lining. I should have panel lined right here, but I can do that later. So this opens up, and again we get a feet perspective. Every time you open up a cockpit, it's always at the feet. It's never at the head, which like makes sense to a degree because you'd want their actual like head more protected. But I just want to open up a mobile suit for once and see their little face poking out. To reduce cost, what? Not right nor wrong with your theory. Okay. To reduce cost with the Resil instead of the usual Gundarium Gamma armor. Gundarium Gamma? I'm only familiar with Gundarium or Luna Titanium, same thing. They instead use older Luna Titanium armor. What the fuck? I thought Luna Titanium... Oh, wait. Gamma would be the difference. They're just saying they're just using more classic armor. Must have missed it. God damn it, I haven't paying attention no more. I'm losing it. Can't even keep your attention. It's Kasai in Greek, or, and Kusai, and Kusi in the anime. Opus missed it while, bickering with you. Oh my god. I get it. I'm just not worth paying attention to. I get it. You know, this is like when I was a child and my mom would forget me at daycare for hours on end. You know? She'd just leave me at daycare for 3 hours and just be like, oh, I forgot my kid at the YMCA daycare. Oh, I need to go back and get him. Ooh. That's actually real lore. Welcome back, Zazabi. You're back, but I seem to have misplaced a piece I just had. Where? This is typical, but I don't like it. It's the backing piece for this. I just had it. What did I do with it? Did I drop it on the floor? Or is it back here? Or did it like fall? Oh yeah, it did. It just rolled back here, slid back. Let's see here. Ooh, feeding the cichlids. I hope they ate it up. I do like fishes eating, because it's just, especially the tiny fish, how they just, you know, particularly the tiny fish, when you like give them the food and they just kind of like nibble at it, they take little bites off of it at a time. Really cute little fellas. That there. That looks very nice. And then next page. I hope they enjoyed their dinner, or whatever meal time of day it is for you. We have a very international audience here, so I shouldn't assume. I should not assume. And now the head. You know, I organized all these bags ahead of time. There we go. And actually, the final thing I prepped before building this were the pipes. I was really unsure if I should paint them, and I decided to paint them only because... Let's get all of this out of the way. I only decided to paint them because I noticed here they're painted. And Gunpla, I realized, will always on their promotional shots use Bandai paint, which is an acrylic-based paint. And so that's when I realized I can use Vallejo on this because that's also acrylic-based. Ah. So they are all now panel-lined and have these nice metallic in-betweens. Bandai recommends you use a water-based acrylic. Honestly, I don't think acrylic is... sorry, I don't think Vallejo is water-based, but I don't know. I don't know what Vallejo exactly is. I don't know if it's acrylic or it's water-based acrylic. It says right here. Water, it literally, first thing it says in English, water-based acrylic. Then Espanol, color acrílico base agua. Then Dutch. That's German, effectively. This is gonna be fun to read. Acrylfarben of Wasserbasis. French. Couleur acrylique à base de du. NL. What the hell is NL? What language is NL? Acryver. No, sorry. Acrylverf of water basis. It's some kind of Germanic. DA. Vanden Bas. Oh my god. DA. Van de Basseret Acrylfarbe. I don't know why I'm having so much fun reading this Danish. Okay. Netherlands. Oh god. Red Tiger Severum are very pretty. Okay. Ooh. Also, Vallejo is not only water-based, it's just one of the most convenient paints to get, in all honesty. Really, really accessible. Okay, let's see here. Like how not even the fellas at Anaheim Electronics know what they're doing, and when they made the unicorn, they know they're making a product. They know it'll sell. That's all they care about, you know? The fact that they might, you know, destroy the universe by, you know, destroying the barrier between real space and new type space, that's a problem for somebody else. They need to keep those profit margins, okay? That's what really matters. I do like how that's a story in Gundam where they broke down the barriers between real space and new type space and probably almost destroyed the universe. They just created a black hole of new type into new type space and lost both mobile suits, and they're just like, well, let's not do that again. They're just like, how far can we go with this technology? Okay, we found the limit. Where is the horn? NL is Netherlands. Yeah, it seems like it. Ooh. They don't know how the Psycho Frame works. They just know that Psycho Frames are mobile suits, makes mobile suits stronger, so they pack the unicorn to the brim with it. Yeah, exactly. That is like, you know what? We might create a singularity, destroy the universe, but it'll be worth it. Ooh. If it explodes, we can just say it's a bomb. If it explodes, we can just, you know, sell it as new bomb technology to the Federation. Come on. I want to put this in without ruining it, because that stripe was very, not hard to do, but I wanted to give it a stripe like the, what is it called, like the Comfer has. You know, just a nice gold stripe in the middle to help break it up and give it that little extra flavor. I think it worked pretty well. I have two red tigers, a green Severum, and a gold Severum, and a turquoise Severum, and a... Jesus, what? Okay. I'm gonna have to look up red tiger Severum. Severum. Sounds like a paint. Oh no, it's a fish! Oh, they're beautiful. I can see why they're called red tigers. But yeah, it's a fish. It's a very beautiful fish. A lot of fish are beautiful, to be fair. if a little dopey looking. Ooh. But it's hard not to look dopey looking when, you know, you just have your eyes on opposite sides of your head for best, you know, coverage. And to be fair, the ocean's a pretty scary place. You know, like, on land, you're just like, okay, something can come at me from maybe above if I'm small enough and, like, I'm a little rat. But if you're big enough, you're just like, okay, something might come at me from, like, the left, right, in front, or behind. Meanwhile, fish are like, every direction is not safe. From any direction, I might be screwed. That hole over there, it might have a moray eel in it. You know, above me, there might be a fish with counter shading that might have a white belly so I can't see it, might just come down and eat me. Being a fish is kind of terrifying. Ooh, I'd also want my eyes to have maximum coverage. They're like, ooh, that's not a half, that is a, they look kind of big, to be honest. At least from an aquarium perspective, rather. In the wild, that's not a very big fish, but for aquariums, that's a good size fish. Unless you have a really big aquarium. Let's see here. I'm not going to paint these because I actually ordered lights. I ordered some master grade lights off of Amazon, and just like the bronze, it won't be here until the day after. But it should be on Wednesday. We should be able to put this on. Let's see here. Let's get this. We should be able to light him up, and I think we'll wait until the end of building it to turn the light on for him. That'd definitely be next week. There's no way we're finishing this kit this week. Even with how efficient and nice and beautiful this boy is. Any suggestions, Merrick, for a PC game? Old ones I would prefer. Problem is, I didn't really get into PC game. I was console when I was younger, so I can't really recommend too many PC games. But Deus Ex is a classic, and it still runs on modern computers. Ooh. And there are update mods for it visually and just aesthetically, so if you want to get the update mods, those are pretty easy to get. So I'd say Deus Ex, it's a pretty fun ride. Whenever people go like, oh, Metal Gear Solid 2, you know, it's the conspiracy game, and it's like, nah. Nah, that's baby's first conspiracy game. Deus Ex is just, it's built different. And it came out a year before, too. Ooh, not to trash on, like, Metal Gear Solid 2, I know a lot of people like that game, but it's more just for comparison purposes. Where's the bottom of the head? There it is. Oh, you have, like, 400 with a school of, I forget how to pronounce that already. As well. But yep. Oh, 400. Okay, yeah, 400 tank. I just had to, my brain had to like figure that out. I thought you said you had I thought you were saying you have 400, you know, 9-inch fish. And I was like, man, your tank must be massive. No, the tank is... Wow, dude, you like have like a... Oh, that'd be a massive aquarium. Oh, what the... Hey, the auto mod got a bot for once. It got one of the bots. It got cheap viewers. Wow, congratulations. You caught a bot for once. Let's give a round of applause for the auto mod on Twitch. You know, it's been like 2 years or whatever, but it finally did its job once, you know? It finally did its job once. Good for you, buddy. You know? You know, you're censoring my chatters for no good reason, but you know, you got the stream bot. You got the stream bot for once. Good for you. Good for you. You know what? You did a good job for once. Most fish I've ever, well, it sounds like you might have a school of 100 cichlids, if nothing else, but... let's see here. I will go Evil Path, Wizardry, 7 Crusaders. Of the Dark Servant OG Ballbuster game. Okay, so Sazabi recommends it sounds like Wizardry 7. I don't know what that is. I only know Wizard 101. Never played it before, but I remember that was like the kid MMORPG. Master Grade F91 has an empty torso, so you can. Oh yeah, that's why the torso's empty. You're right. That's why the torso is empty for the light. I wasn't even thinking of that because I've never put in a light into my build before. Let me get chat to be a little longer so I can make sure I didn't miss anything. Modern computers, yeah, sure. Let me install it on a 2007 laptop. Oh man. Oh no. It'll definitely work on that laptop though. You don't need to worry. You don't need to worry. This game is like from the 1990s. You don't need to worry about a thing. Crusaders of the Dark Savant, not Servant. Savant is a DOSBox dungeon crawler RPG. Ooh, Ultima. That's also a good. That's speaking of older games, dungeon crawler. Ultima. I have no idea if that would be very playable even on a 2007 unit, but like Ultima would also be a good one. That's the classic PC dungeon crawler. What? Yeah. Clank, 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 clank. Roger, Roger. I still like the scene in, what is it, a Phantom Menace, when they're like trying to smuggle the, not princess, the queen off the planet. And they're just like, yeah, like, they just tell the B1 battle droid that, you know, they have clearance to leave, and the B1 battle droid just goes like, wait, that doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. You're under arrest. They just cut it up. I don't know why, but the comedic timing of that is just real, always gets me. Does giving the processing of the B1 battle droid, the noise of it just going as it's loading its response, it's just like, wait, processing But did I cut off the wrong piece? I might have. I have a terrible habit of doing that. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I very much did. I really need to look at the wait. Oh no, that's not a polycap. I thought that was a wow. Okay, hold up. So I've actually not cut off a piece yet, is what that means. I have to find the A sprue. I was wondering what this was for. Okay, I didn't know it was early enough to have, like... Ooh. I thought this was a full polycap kit. I didn't think that there'd be even a single plastic replacement part. Well, let's look at this. It goes downward. And because I had to moderate Twitch chat, it's now not scrolling. It's very hard, older games are. That was the replayability of older games. The fact that you just die a bunch of times and be like, well, I guess I just have to restart from zero sometimes. That's how they made it that's how they made it so you could play a game that was like effectively like a 3-hour game and then have like 20 hours in it. You know? You could not get away with that nowadays. A developer would not be allowed to get away with that nowadays, which is kind of a good and bad thing. But I mean, we've had people recommend Zeonic Front on this channel, if you're familiar with that classic game. Ooh. Hard games are not an unusual thing to recommend on this channel. Everyone quickly recreate that scene in the original Evangelion, where everyone clapped and the... Congratulations! Congratulations! Man, just Anno was working through some stuff, and he was like, you know what? I'm making an anime. I'll just use this as my diary, effectively. I'll use this anime that I'm working on as a soundboard. I don't care. I don't care no more. Let's see here. Come on. Am I putting this on wrong? In the wrong direction, rather? Let's see here. Get this. These tubes are not lining up the way I want them to. There we go. And then I didn't even take it off screen. There we go. Why are you being difficult with me? Is this not the right tubing? Did I... Hold up. No, it's the right tubing because each one has different underneath. So it's the correct tubing, it's just not lining up the way I want it to. The amount of times I've had to save scum to get through the levels needed for the game over the course of 5 playthroughs is about 8. Oh my god. These levels are also required to fight the game's super boss, a super boss that multi-attacks, makes you turn crazy, paralyzes you. But yeah, sounds like an old game. Again, people always talk about like Dark Souls, and like Dark Souls revolutionized like difficulty in games, and I'm just like, it probably did do a lot of good things for difficulty in games, but people always go like, it's the hardest game ever, and it's just like, dude, you need to play some 90s games if you want hard games. Needlessly difficult games that just bend you over a barrel. Okay, just don't stick. Okay, you know what? Okay, fine. You know what? Okay, I'm unironically getting pissed at this now. It's just coming up on both ends now, and so I'm just... It's too long, is the issue. Like, did I put the wrong ones in, is the question. No. No, there's no tubes in there. There's no tubes in there. These are literally the only tubes that, like, have this pattern on them and fit here, and they're too long. Wizardry 8 was the one you saw. Okay. Actually frustrating me, and actually in the process, it's me working with this little pipe so much, it's actually stripping the paint of all things. Okay, you are infuriating. It really seems like the solution is going to be to have to glue it on. And I mean glue because I don't think plastic cement would stick to this, because it's rubber. Come on. Come on. Why are you awful? Jesus Christ, this is the one part you don't want to be missized. You can't have it any other size. What is going on here? Let's look at this. Let's look at this. I do not understand. It's symmetrical, so it doesn't matter which side I plug in. I am literally gonna count how many ribs these are. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 ribs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the correct one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm awful. No, you're wonderful, darling. I am... Okay. Okay. Please behave. What did I just say? Why is this trash? Oh my god. This is unironically awful. I'm gonna have to go back and repaint it later too, because some of the paint's come off. I have to do it off camera. The middle part refuses. It's just, look at this. It's just, nope, 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 nope. It just refuses to stay in place. It has to plug in like this, and it comes out. You can see the gap. I'm just gonna accept it the way it is. And pray to God it's fine the way it is. We need to plug in this side first. Let's flip it around and see if that works. We need to plug it in this side first. That's weird. This side doesn't seem to be plugging in at all. Okay, we plug this side in first. And then we loop it down. And then... Jesus Christ, this is... Why is it being so awkward and difficult is really my question. And again, I've stripped like half the paint from this one. Oh my god, that was kind of horrendous. Luckily, it looks like all the paint stayed on. Well, no, there's some paint missing right here, but I think you can see, yeah, you can see the gaps in the paint now because of that. That was kind of an awful experience, I'm not gonna lie. That was a horrendous experience. You're back, welcome back. Yeah, plastic cement just doesn't, yeah, so I'm gonna need to use super glue. And I don't know where my super glue is. Hopefully when it's all assembled, it'll stay in place, because it's gonna have this going on over top of it. But just in case, let me see. Thinner, medium. When did I get extra thinner medium? Wait, no, this isn't me getting extra this is new thinner medium. Since when have I had this? How long have I had this? And I haven't been using it. Oh, no. I got this like a few weeks ago and I was like, I have thinner medium. I've had thinner medium for like, oh god, this would have been in there for like the last year and I just haven't been using it. Oh no. You have some trivia for Wizardry 8? Shoot, fire away. Let me just see if I can find the super glue real quick before I continue, just in case. No, it's not in there. I didn't think it was. I don't see it on the desk anywhere. I'm not quite sure where it is. That's odd. It locks in at the endpoints here and here, because there's like little, I guess you could call them pegs that like go into the piece, hence why they're so flush here and here. But they're meant to also, they have little divots in them to make it so that they go, so that they lock into these little pegs right here. You can see it right there, that little peg, but it's not staying there. It really seems that it's longer than it needs to be. And these are the only, like I did not get them confused with a different tube, because every tube has different bottom parts. And I checked this yesterday when I was putting them in the bags. Each tube has its own separate bottom parts and sizes. And you can see this one has the 3, square holes, 3 rectangular holes. It's the only one with holes like this. So I can't even have like gotten the wrong piece on. It's just not properly sized for some reason. And you can see here it's meant to be way more flush. You can see how it's meant to be flush, how it's meant to wrap around tightly. And there's just so much extra here, so let's just hope it's gonna come out. Oh, no, it didn't come out, thank God. The end side is coming out over, it came out, fuck. Fuck, it's this one in particular. This one is extra long. Both are too long, but this one in particular is extra bad. The one on the left-hand side for me is extra bad. It just doesn't want to stay in. It's literally too short at the ends to go into the pegs that lock it in at the end points, and it's too long in the middle. Ooh, so it's just coming out real easy. Like you can see on this side, it's like peeking out just a little. You can see that little bit of gold. Then you go over here and look at that. Look at the difference in size. Like, that is how different in length they are, the two sides. You can see it even from here, how this one bends so much more. It is crazy, but let's read that trivia. The devs of Wizardry 8 knew that people would try to do in that era of 3D games on the PC and RPG. They gave all the NPCs almost completely unique dialogue from each other to deny you asking to have sex with them? What? But I mean, it's cool that, you know, they gave all of them unique dialogue, but it sounds like what you're saying is they didn't simply give them unique dialogue, they gave them unique dialogue specifically if you ask them to, like, bone you. If you ask an NPC out. That is dedication. Ooh. Can you fuck it? What? Can you fuck it? No! Ah! And it came off again. It came off again. This is gonna have to be glued later. At a later date. It's never going to look pretty. It's never gonna look good. But yeah, that is really disappointing. Ooh. To be fair, it's the one piece that's most subject to change over time. Ooh, especially with it being rubber and whatnot, but it is still disappointing nonetheless. And that's like the longest part we've had to do on this build so far, just trying to get that rubber in. I'm gonna have to find the glue after stream. But let's go. I want to use the commander horn because I made the commander horn all fancy. There is the back plate. Horn dog! God, you know what? I take it back, Twitch. Your censorship sucks. Really? Horn dog? You censor horn dog? Horn dog is just a fun term. They all have their own response to deny you for being a horn dog. Ooh. Yeah, true. Oh, does the piece, yeah, lock in, it literally says you put it on, like, I'm looking at the instructions, and it says you do this part, then you put the collar on. So I just don't know. I just don't know. Let's get this on. Ooh. Actually, my phone is charged enough so I can actually look at it for topics. So I can look at it for tangents. Fun tangents. God, the mobile suit in one of the most recent episodes that I watched. I actually got to watch 2 episodes of Gundam X today, and I'm so happy. But one of the mobile suits, it was so fat, chat. It made the O from Zeta Gundam look skinny, I swear to God. It was the biggest boy I've ever seen. It was just a heavy hitter mech. It was just supposed to be like really thick and really strong and just be just pure armor. But my God, he was the thickest boy I ever seen. Let's see here. This goes... Oh, okay, so this needed to go on earlier. Hopefully I'm not putting it on too late. I seem to be putting it on a little too late. Can I take this off? Can I take this off? Thank you. Okay, then we put this on. But actually, that's one thing I really like about Gundam X is how the mobile suits are allowed to look really varied and different. Oh, camera broke. Let me reset the camera. Please. We're only like half an hour. We're only like an hour in. Why did the camera disconnect? I don't want to have last week was technical difficulties this series. I don't want to have technical difficulties all week again. Hello, Elgato. Activate. There we go. Please focus, 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 focus. Thank you. Which is to be expected considering one of the main characters in 7 and 8 is like barely clothed in it. Cyberwoman. Sounds like a 90s game. Sounds like a good 90s game right there. All I've heard you do is describe Nikado avocado. Oh my God. That's so me. But it's a very big boy. It's like fucking, it's like, what's his name? Queso big. It's like if you made Queso a mobile suit, to be honest. It's not Elgato. The camera's not Elgato. The Elgato actually works fine, to be honest. It's just that this is a Kyo Pro, but it is not very professional. It overheats, like, it can sometimes overheat really easily. And we're in the middle of winter, so it just doesn't matter what time of year it is. Hold up. I feel like I'm missing out on something. Because this is just, like, sitting here. It's not locking in. And I need it to lock in. So why are you not locking in? Maybe this goes on and this locks it in? No. Actually, this pushes it back. So why is the head construction the one I'm struggling with? It looks like I did miss a piece. I missed this piece, but this goes under, so this wouldn't affect what I'm doing right now. What is happening? Oh god, you mean the Great Unclean One, Nurgle? You should do a fucking collab with Asmongold. You can have the status effect of Nurgle with Asmongold, and then you can have the size of like a Great Unclean One with Queso. You put them together, they would just become Nurgle, wouldn't they? They're both halves of Nurgle. Oh god. Nick lost all that weight, strange dude though. Oh, wait. Yeah, Nick was the guy who did the eating streams. I forget what those are called. But then he lost all the weight and he was like, I actually made a backlog of 2 years of it. Is that him? The one who was like, I made a backlog of 2 years worth of video, and then over those 2 years lost all of the weight. And it's just like, I fooled the entire internet. And it's like, wow, that's really impressive, but also you might be some kind of psychopath or something for doing that. That is not normal human behavior. And now that I am skinny, I'm going to go back to eating all the food I want. And it's just like, what are we doing? What are you? Mukbang, that was him. I forgot about that. He also shaved his head. He's some kind of crazy. He's like white woman crazy, but in a dude it's funny. Is that the issue? Am I... Oh, wait a minute. Is this the issue? I'm putting it too far back, and it needs to be more forward? Why do you vex me? Well, let me look at it from a top-down perspective. Oh, I see what I'm doing wrong. Okay, so what I'm doing wrong is this piece was supposed to go on afterwards. Okay. So I'm just dumb. So this goes on. Let's get this on. And then the top piece goes on. That was the issue. I was so proud of myself. I was like, we're making pretty good time when we finished the chest. I didn't say that, but I thought it. But all it took was me thinking it, and I've jinxed myself. This stream has just ground to a halt since then. There we go. That's a beautiful head sculpt. But sadly, when you don't have the light in, and if you don't have the eye painted, because it's literally clear plastic on clear plastic, the eye is all but invisible if you're not looking at it directly in the front, and it's so dark that I don't know if you guys can actually see it. But the eye is just not visible. Ooh. Again, that's just because it needs to be clear for the effect. Oh my god, if I move the head, it'll make the pipes go out. I'm gonna have to super glue this later. There's just no way. There's no way I can move the head. I can't be like, okay, let's see how the head turns around. I can't do that right now, because look at this. If that catches on that pipe, it's gonna rip out the pipe. You have to glue these down, at least in the modern day build. Oh god, I don't even want to touch it that much. Oh, that's gonna scrape the paint off no matter what. Can I order better pipes offline? Online? From off the online experience? Get a red Sharpie. Ooh. Why not a black Sharpie? Why red? Oh, wait, you mean the eye. No, we're lighting up the eye. We don't need it, and we use... Where is it? For mono eyes, what we use typically is this. We use nice pink paint, because we go for pink for Char. It's literally pink... Oh, it is literally pink for Char. I didn't remember it was called that. I thought it was called Char Aznable Pink. No, but it's literally pink for Char Aznable, pink for her. I like how half the shades in Gundam, half the red shades in Gundam are just for Char Aznable. It's really good. It's really funny. I remember a roommate showing me the great clean one and scared me permanently. The great clean one? What, did he make like a gray unclean one and then just make it like just a really fat dude with a lot of fat rolls? He just made it look like a naked Peter Griffin. The fat clean one. It was nice to see him slim. Is he still keeping off the weight? Here. It'll allow the light to pass through it still. Oh, so that you're saying for the lighting. And it'll still look fine when it's off. Okay. A thin coat of Sharpie. Oh, wait, Sharpie. I was thinking permanent marker. You're right, and Sharpie can just be wiped off. You're right. I have red Sharpie. I have red Sharpie for... specifically for when I want to do Lasso, Halo Lasso, because there's no marker on the screen, so you just put a little Sharpie. You just put a Sharpie at the center of your screen before you turn off the reticle, and therefore you can still shoot things. Because holy crap, is it hard to shoot things without a reticle? That's cheating. I don't care. I genuinely don't care. I have beaten most of Halo Lasso, except for Halo ODST with friends and Halo 2, because fuck that. Halo 2 is just pain and suffering on Lasso. Let's see here. That is a good point. And also the Sharpie can be cleaned off relatively easily if you ever want to. If I could get a pink Sharpie though, I'd use a pink Sharpie. But that is good advice. But Sharpie eye. And I organized all these bags, and then earlier when I was looking for something, I disorganized all the bags. So now I don't know where anything is. So we are back to our usual programming of me just taking forever to build things, even though they're all bagged. There it is. Okay, so this is the correct bag. I had to stop for a moment and be like, am I gonna have to throw all this back in the bag because I just emptied the wrong bag? No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, thank God, no. But I kind of like, though, the bag. I've said this before, but I like the bags because it makes me feel like I'm building Legos again. With all their neatly organized bags, all their numbered bags that I did not know were numbered until I was, like, in the double digits. So when I was just like, 7 or 8 years old, I'd just open a bag. I'd open every bag and pour it into the box and be like, let's build. And it would take really long to build anything because I'd have to go through all the Legos at once to build anything. I had no idea Lego numbered their bags until I was like 11 or 12 years old, man. It took me 3 days to build the AT-AT, to build the clone turbo tank. That thing took me 3 days to build. They used to not number bags. I'm pretty sure it was when they were numbering bags that I still wasn't aware of it. But yeah, they didn't always number bags. Pink Sharpie doesn't work as well, probably because it's too thin. It doesn't pop as much. Ooh, he's still slim. Okay. Almost only counts horseshoes and... Almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Okay. Let's see here. Please tell me. Okay, I do have the pieces. So this piece. This piece. There are some things that I did not cut off. there are some things that are still on the sprue because I missed where they went. So I'm just concerned when we get to those, and I'm just gonna look in the bag and be like, where is that piece? And forget that it's not cut off. This, and this, and then this, and where's the other polycap we cut off? We just cut it off. Where is it? We did cut it off, right? Yeah, it's not on the sprue. Where's the other one of these? We just cut it off. There it is. We just did this thing. Where did it go? Oh god, it's been like 2 seconds. Come on, come on, come on. Come on. Oh god, I was hoping with this being a master grade I wouldn't have polycap fatigue. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. The polycap won't go in. Oh no. The polycap is wider than the hole it's meant to go into. What? Oh my god. Do I just force it in? Jesus Christ, that's tight. Ah, shit. It's misaligned now. Ah, shit. It needs to be. It needs to be deeper in, but it's not going in. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, it went in. Lordy, lordy. Okay. I need like a weight or something to put behind this thing. Jesus Christ. I'm sure it's meant to be tight, but like some of this just feels... Okay, that one went in a lot better. This is how it should probably be. That other one was way too tight though. Polycaps are meant to be a bit tight, but I feel like they're meant to be tight like this one. This one I was able to push in relatively easily, but this one was a top. This one is a tight fit. This one, I really like, I was concerned it wouldn't go in. This one I was like, it just wasn't going in at all. And even after I was like, okay, it needs to be forced in, it still got stuck halfway down. So this one is too tight, while this one I think is probably perfect. Is this one of the dangers of older kits? It's just the mold has been used a lot and might not be as consistent as it once was. Old kits, and it's from 2013. Oh! Sorry, that's my soul leaving my body. Oh god. And then we put these on. Expensive build idea, real grade Freedom Gundam from a Shanghai Gundam base. How expensive we talking? Ooh. What? Oh god, okay. Then this and this and this. Lordy. Everything is coming again is for the most part good. There's like a little bit of odd ducks, but everything, like nothing that doesn't seem like it's manageable yet, which is good. Let's see here. Duh. Ooh. And this goes here. And let us see this. We have a lot now. It's a China limited model from a limited source. So I'd literally probably have to buy it from scalpers. You know what? I feel like that's just the best way to put it. To get it, I technically would have to go through scalpers or third parties who are de facto scalpers. Seems like a bad... Why is the Freedom a Shanghai limited? Why is that? Is it because the Chinese communists, they yearn for freedom? They yearn for freedom they may not yet know. Or is the seed really popular in China? Probably the latter, but maybe a little bit of both. Where... Hmm. Uh-oh. Oh, there it is, thank God. That little moment where you're like, I don't see a piece that I need. But it's just a small piece that got shuffled in everything else. Is Gundam based Shanghai? Or I guess that's just what GCP means in some way. They built the freedom, but like, why? Why? They must like the freedom, right? Surely that must be the reason why. I'm actually happy. One of my favorite things about watching Gundam X, there's a lot of things I like, but on a meta level, something I'm appreciating in it is how an issue I had with Gundam Seed is how it felt so detached from the previous Gundams, where like Gundam Wing is obviously inspired in so many ways by like, you know, the original Gundam. But then you have like you have elements from like the G Fighter, Gundam Wing, and Gundam X that you can see the like shared DNA of, and then Seed always felt so detached from it all. But as I'm watching Gundam X more, I'm seeing that connective tissue. I'm seeing those elements, like how the Gundam Double X is very much the, you know, Gundam Freedom. You know, how the Freedom was very much inspired by it, how they're going to the new type labs, and that's very much, you know, those new type labs, the city under the mountain, very much inspired the city under the mountain in Alaska for Seed. That's just something on a meta level I'm really appreciating. It's really funny. Seeing a popular in... Seed being popular in... So they really like Seed? Really? 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 Seed? Of all Gundams, they're like, this is our thing? Like, not... Maybe I shouldn't be shitting on Seed so much, but like... Really? When Gundam X is just like right over there? Really? When Gundam Wing is like... Not great, but it's funnier at least. Really, Seed? Seed? It's like Gundam Wing to the US. Ah, so it was the thing that brought... Okay, so it's what was like ushered the IP into the country. So it has a lot of nostalgia for that reason, just like Gundam Wing does. Okay. Am I putting this in at the right spot? Or does it need to go lower? Gundam X is good, and I just got busy and distracted for the longest time, so I just didn't finish it. Where do you plug in, my good sir? It must plug in here. No. Where do you plug in? I'm looking at you. This is Polycap 14. I hate Polycap so much. An extra degree of building that always kills me a little bit inside. Okay, there we go. But yeah, it is. And I just wasn't able to watch it like all last year because I was just getting busy with a bunch of small things and forgetting to watch it. But now that I'm finally watching it again, I am just happy with every episode I'm watching. I just got done with the... What's the country called? I just got done with the Southeast Asian arc. But I just finished that today. So when they're helping defend... What is it? Estardo, I think is the country's name. Which is just a weird name, but... Maybe it was a Spanish colony, I don't know. Don't be like that. But I just got done with that arc. And I really like the old general who's like, I would rather die on my feet than like live on my back. And he just went out in like a vintage mobile suit and just got decimated. He just went out with 20 of his best men and they all died because they're just like, better to die a warrior than live a coward. And it's like, God. It's a really tragic moment, but his death is so cool because like two mobile suits run up to him and stab him, and he literally just grabs the mobile suits and does like wrestler moves on him. He grabs one and he just throws both of them on the ground effectively, but he just like picks them up and like, you know, knee breaks one and throws it on the ground. You know, it's just like, old man, you still got it. And then he's like, ah, and then he blows up and dies. God, but something that's about the character work. I know I'm kind of taking the piss, but the character work in general is actually really good in Gundam X. But the slow burn with the relationship with Garrett and Tifa is really nice. How Garrett kind of has like this unrequited love for her, and she's just kind of distant and doesn't really understand any of these feelings because she's just kind of, it seems that she's cut herself off because of her new type abilities, because if she wouldn't, she'd feel too much effectively. But then Garrett is opening her up, but then right when Garrett is beginning to open her up, Garrett gets invested in like the war effort and whatnot, and then he becomes the distant one, and you're like, that's tragedy right there. That's some good drama. You know, when Garrett finally gets her attention, he now no longer is vying for it. You know, when he's no longer vying for her attention is when she wants his attention. It's simple, but it's really effective. Broke his back like the Bane of Bane and Batman. Oh, I love that in Batman. Batman fights Bane, goes home, and is like, wow, that guy was really hard to fight. You know, oh, somebody's at the door. You know what? You know, it's been a long night, but I'll answer the door myself. Actually, I think Alfred answers the door, but it doesn't matter. It's funnier if he answers the door himself. Goes over the door, opens the door, and just Bane is just standing there. And he's just like, we didn't finish our fight, Batman. And he's just like, oh, shit. Grabs Batman and just breaks his fucking back. That's not exactly how it happens, but it's just still, that's how I like to imagine it. I know he's in the bat costume still, and Bane, he doesn't answer the door as Batman. That'd be stupid, but it's still funny. Just the idea of him opening the door himself, and it's just like, ah, we didn't finish our fight. It's a nice, silly time. It's very good meme potential. Yeah, she has to cut herself off emotionally because we see in the first episode, she is the empath version of new types. Shanghai Real Grade Freedom is twice as expensive as the regular version, but also twice the quality. Yeah, because they actually updated it for once. Instead of making it like a simple reprint, it's actually, I don't know, it's probably not like a 2.0, but it's probably like a 1.5. Like, you can see the proportions are different on it. Ooh. Let's get... It's this piece? Yeah. Oh, this piece is so tiny. Where's the other one of these? Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no, 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 no. This is why normally I bag the extra tiny parts so I don't lose them. I need to find another piece that's this big. That's bad. Is this and this. Okay, this goes here, but I need to find the other one. The bright side, it doesn't look like I dropped it on the floor. Let me check real quick. I am... Dog, no. You're not going outside right now. Hold up. Did I leave it on the other page? I did! Okay. It got left behind. Oh, no. Why were there a bunch of... Or was there just one Rapture movie in the, 2000s? I can't remember. I think there was just one Rapture movie. I think there's just Left Behind. But there was a lot of parodies of it. I think that's all... I think that's what it was. Oh, what the... Oh, wait until you meet Shagia and Ulba Frost, the incel brothers. Are they're different brothers? I don't remember the brothers' name. No, we've already met them. They get introduced like very early on, but they are kind of shit posters. They're literally just full-time 4chan and Reddit users, part-time with part-time visiting Kiwi farms. They're pretty shit posters. They're just, I mean, one has a pompadour. That what the hell they're doing? I honestly think they're just trolling everyone. I don't even know if they have an agenda. At the start of stream, was like, I think I know what they're doing. In all honesty, I think they're just trolls. I feel like that's actually a good description of them. They're just like, what can we do? How can we stir the pot? Still, it is still a 1.5. Still, users have the old interface. So it is a 1.5. I was accurate in that description, in that guesstimate. It's 80% new though, and it's worth it. Try to play my Emperor at War, but thanks to the recent patch, the updates become dog shit laggy. Ooh. I didn't know there was a patch. Is that the one with Hermione? What the fuck? What are you? What? What? I don't even know the context of me bringing up Harry Potter. Wait, no. That's how you spell Hermione, right? I don't know, I don't do Harry Potter. They're literally just dipshit one and dipshit. They are a little bit of Dweedledee and Dweedledum. Beavis and Bud. They're just having fun. They're just having fun. They just got a bunch of pilots killed and they're like, we're trying to awaken new types. But also we just want you to die. You know, like, we awakened the new type. Bang! Okay, you know, can't have too many new types, you know? We can't let we have to be the only new types. We can't let them encroach on our territory, bro. They're kind of, they have their own motives. They're having fun. Literally from episode 1, they're just having fun. They're just like, we just have our own ulterior motives. We don't really know how people keep trusting us with all the things that are happening. We're like Char, but 1,000 times less subtle. Like, we're very obviously the Char clones, particularly in the fact that we are traitorous and cannot be trusted. But we have, like, no subterfuge about it. Like, the fact that people are still just like, oh yeah, here's just a bunch of power. We're just like, okay, sure, yeah. They just keep trusting us with more and more power. Not really sure how we keep moving up through the ranks, but we are. Only Bandai would make a new Ashtaran and Vizargo. Fucking, I love the mobile suit designs. I don't know if there's any mobile suit design that I've been like, I hate it, from Gundam X. There are like some I'm not a big fan of, but like, God, I love the Vizargo. Wait, yeah, I think it's the Vizargo. The Ashtaran, I think, is the flying one. But the red one, let's just say, I love how it is literally just an Epion crossed with an Ultron. I don't really care for the Ultron that much, but I love the extendo arms. I love the extendo arm mechanic of mobile suits. It's so super robot, and if you really think on it in a military application, it don't make that much sense, but it's so cool just for them to be like, Dulcim from Street Fighter and just be like, just throw their arms out and grab a dude. You know, grow out and be like, tickle, tickle, with their like long extendo arms. I love the extendo arms, and I wish every Gundam series had a mobile suit with like extendo arms, you know, like the Dragon Gundam, the Ultron, the Vizargo. I just wish that was a thing. And then I think after Gundam X, they're just like, we're not gonna do that anymore. And it's like, oh, pain, Pecco. I love the extendo arm gimmick so much. Oh my god. There's a 1/100 grade? Hold up. That's unfortunately the best kit available for the Vizargo. I feel like when you say that, though, it's probably like from the 90s, and it's probably not even like the quality of a like Revive 1/100. It's like a pre-match. It's like 90s master grade at best. Oh god. Left Behind. Oh, is Emma Watson in Left Behind? Is she? I don't know. I'll remember the Simpson Treehouse of Horror parody. But the American Dad special, though, the Rapture special, that was pretty good. where everyone gets raptured except for like Stan and his wife because they were fighting during the rapture. Then Stan offers, you know, then Stan literally sells it out his wife for like a guy who's like, I'm Jesus, and then so he can go to heaven. And then he finds out he's not Jesus and his wife leaves him, which is a pretty fair move. I mean, let's see here. I do like the moment when he figures out that the guy who's like, who's saying he's Jesus isn't Jesus. He's just like, oh, I get to go to heaven and say all this stuff. Then he turns, he's so optimistic about going to heaven. Then he turns around and Jesus just has his pants down and he just goes, you're not really Jesus, are you? Ooh, American Dad is so much better than Family Guy. Even classic Family Guy. American Dad is just off the walls insane. Where's the other piece? It's a 90s kit. It's a pre-existing master grade. High grade Ultron can extend. Yeah. Ooh. I believe what's the predecessor to the Ultron called? I actually forget. I have that. I think it can also extend its extendo arm because it has a fold up arm technically, but let me get to YouTube chat. Yes, 2025 patch and mod updates made everything laggy. And why was there a patch in 2025? This game had what is this, Bethesda? Oh hey, this game hasn't been touched in like decades and really the only thing keeping it alive is mods. Let's update the game and kill half the mods. What do you mean there's an update? Empire at War came out in like 2007 or some shit. Hold up, when did Empire at War even come out? I hate endless updates. Just let games be finished. Empire at War. Now, we're not even gonna look at Forces of Corruption, which came out later. Empire at War, 10 out of 10 from Steam, damn right. 2006! It's 20 fucking years old. It's 1 year away from being able to drink in the US, and it got an update. Was it the alcohol firmware update? You know, so it can handle its booze next year. What the fuck, Shenlong? Thank you. Ooh, I knew it was a dragon name, but I just couldn't remember. Little Nicky. People fucking hate on Little Nicky. I haven't seen it in forever, but I remember liking Little Nicky. People hated on Little Nicky. Zero extended arms, in one of the best, in my opinion. GP0... This is not in a stable place. GP03. The Dragon Gundam had a fun extendo arms, but they didn't really make sense because they were like accordion extendo arms. It's like, how does that work on a mobile suit? And it's like, it just does. But actually having mechanically like folding arms makes a lot more sense, like the Shenlong and the Vizargo. And I love how their arms just fold into their shoulder pads. So like they either have shoulder pads or they have extendo arms, and I just love the look of it. I'm not familiar with the GP03's extendo mechanic, but I love bad jokes. We love bad jokes here. Every now and then somebody will tell like a really bad like dad joke or pun, and I even if it's bad, I'm just like, that's good. You know, if it makes me cringe, if it makes me laugh, then I get to laugh. If it makes me cringe, then I'm like, that was painful, but in like a good dad joke way. I appreciate both experiences. There it is. Never mind the Emma Watson movie. Was This Is the End story. Okay. Don't forget Little Nicky. I read that. Lots of, Rapture movies. Was Little Nicky a Rapture movie? Little Nicky was like the three sons of Satan going to Earth to, like, try and cause the Rapture, I suppose. I remember, what is it, Dark Stalkers, that game. That one was like, War got a little antsy, he got a little excited, and like, Heaven and Hell went to war, but it wasn't the Rapture, but like, nobody told, like, but like, understandably, like, War, the Horsemen of the Apocalypse War was like, oh hey, Heaven and Hell, are going to war. Must be the rapture time. So he goes down to Earth, and then like somebody comes down and is like, no, it's not actually the rapture yet. Just these demons and angels are just coincidentally going to war with one another. So like we gotta strip you of your war powers, and now it's a video game. So like now you have to get like power-ups to become war again. And it's like, what the what do you mean? It's like, what do you mean like it's not the rapture? That it's like, oh, it's like it's a little premature. Like this is some other, you know, event of like the world ending. This isn't the Armageddon. It's just an Armageddon. So like we're gonna have to take away your powers real quick. It's like, what? And war is built like a shit brick house. War is. Oh god, this was back when like games were allowed to be like really stylized. They still are, but. You know what I mean, when like characters could be spiky as hell, they could look like they like walked out of World of Warcraft, but also had like all of the steroids, and that's just what War looks like. He has a hood on because he's edgy and dark. I miss those aesthetics. I miss those aesthetics where you're like, that's really stupid, and it's like, so you don't want to play the game? No, I want to play the game more. That makes me want to play the game more. The fact that I'm looking at that and going like, ooh, that looks embarrassing to play. Makes me want to play it more. What song made Fat Michael Jackson famous in another universe? Wouldn't it just be I'm Fat by Weird Al Yankovic? Billie Jeans don't fit. Weird Al Yankovic should have made that cover. Wasted opportunity. Wasted opportunity. You should have made that his sequel to Fat. Oh, currently downloading Sniper Elite. Ooh, I've always heard good things about Sniper Elite games. They're good stealth, long-range, well, sniper games. And the fact that they, like, show you the snipes that you take, the shots that you take, as the games go on with more anatomical detail, that it's like, here's an x-ray of you shooting this guy's testicles off, but if you only hit one, we'll only show one exploding. And it's like... They knew what they were doing. They were like, yeah, no, we have to include the testicles, because some people are going to be like, I want to shoot Hitler in the testicles. Because there is I don't remember if it's a DLC mission, but there is an assassination mission of Hitler in one of the games. And you can shoot Hitler in the testicles, and it's just, but this was even before that. But like, of course you want to like shoot at like, you know, an SS officer and just like and like get a perfect shot and just like not hit his legs, but somehow hit both of his testicles, and then just see him collapse over on the ground and go, oh, you want to see that? That's just fucking funny. They knew their audience. They're like, you know, our audience are gamers. Testicle is not a word that should be censored. One time I read the Bible and I misread Gentiles as genitals, and I got really confused. I was like, why is Jesus talking about like, well, what's Jesus saying? I was young at the time. I just misread it, and I was like, why is Jesus being like talking about the genitals of people? Like, is this like because of circumcision or something? And it's just like, and someone just went, he said Gentiles, and I just was like, oh, Gentiles. Oh, that makes a lot more sense. Oh, God. He has a single one. Did Hitler have a single testicle? There's some random people throughout history who, like, lost a testicle, like Lance Armstrong. Though he lost it because of cancer, but there's a lot of reasons you can lose a testicle. There's just random people in history that you just find out they had one testicle. Was Hitler one of them? I forgot about that if he was. Everyone you know loved Little Nicky. I've never met somebody who's like, Little Nicky is shit, but I've seen like sentiment online. Like when you look up Little Nicky, at least when I looked it up, there was like sentiment that like, oh, this was like, you know, when Adam Sandler fell off. And it's like, Adam Sandler was always kind of like a cringy, like, guy. We've talked about this. He makes really cringy but fun movies, and then he does a really good acting performance, and then for the next 10 years, he makes more cringy movies that you're like, you know what? It's fun, so it's okay. It's like when I say people say it's bad, it's like when people say, what is it called? What's the 8 Crazy Nights? When people say like 8 Crazy Nights is bad, it's like, is 8 Crazy Nights bad? technically, yes. But at the same time, I'm gonna watch 8 Crazy Nights and still go like, yeah, that's fun. When he makes the guy eat the jock strap with the really fat dude, that's funny. That's funny. It's like that's crude and just, you know, gross. And I was like, made me laugh. made me laugh. Yeah, having the guy, you know, when he's pouring gasoline and burning down Adam Sandler's like mobile home, he still has the jock strap in his mouth. So they see him like throwing gas on the fire, and they're like, "Hey!" And he turns around, and the jock strap is just hanging out of his mouth, and it's just like, he just runs away. It's so stupid, but I'm okay with that. It's sincere stupidity. It's not insisting on itself. The core of the gigantic, I know it's the core of the big, like, I can't read that. Dendrobium mobile armor, Stardust memory. As the core of that, it's the core of this monstrosity that then got, like, downsized and put into, what is it? I think Seed Destiny. Seed Destiny had their own take on this, if I remember correctly, but yeah, that monstrous mobile armor. Stardust Memories is the, I think, only OVA I need to watch, because of the, like, OVA trilogy of, I need to rewatch. I do need to rewatch. I have seen all of these at some point, but I do need to rewatch also MS-18, but I haven't seen Stardust Memories in a longer time. And War in the Pocket I watch every year because I love War in the Pocket. We need to take off the tape. Not the new ones, the PS2 ones. Okay. Wait a minute. I need tweezers. Get this off, and I don't know where my... Oh. Where is right here. I was looking for my Gunpla toolbox. It was where it was supposed to be. The last place I expected. Oh, okay. So some of the... You know, I was about to say, some of the paint came off, so we need to clean that up. And then I remembered that me painting this was pointless because this goes over it. You know, there's just some of the joys of building when you're like, this looks like a good place to prep. You know, make it have a nice golden cuff, and then you realize, yeah, that didn't need paint. That's not going to be visible at all. Oh god. You're not prepping a kit if you don't make unnecessary and redundant preps. Okay, why are you not coming off? This tape is like perfectly placed in... There we go. All of this was unnecessary, but I still like doing it. It was nice and calming. That's one thing I like about doing the prep is I can do it off stream, and so I can still have that like therapeutic effect of Gunpla without having to worry about like doing it on stream and doing every little thing. That's good for psychological reasons. Okay, this goes here. No, it's still symmetrical. I was like, wait, is one side like right, one side left? No. It says they're both symmetrical, but I'm putting them on wrong? What am I doing incorrect here? I think... No, it does slide in. It's just I'm having trouble... The seating on this kit is not the best experience. Definitely not going to be one of my top 10 build experiences. It's not going to be up there with the F91 build. That was a fun build. Oh no! I didn't notice that. I didn't do panel lining here. I didn't even notice that panel line, and I have to do it now. Oh no. Okay, well, speaking of prep, I missed a panel line, and I'll show you. Get off my finger. I'll show you. There's a panel line right here. And the only reason I noticed it is because there was a little bit of bleed right here, so you can see how there's a little bit of bleed going up. All across there's a panel line, and I need to paint that now. So let's get that. Hold on, a small update was in 2020. It was in 2024. Okay, well, it's still weird to be getting an update, whether it's 19 or about whether it's 19 or 18 years ago. It's still a weird time to be giving updates. Let's use our old thinner first. Performance improvements up to 50% frame rate. Ooh. But I feel like it cut down frame rate rather than, you know, gave us better frame rate. And also, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm fine with a game from 2004. I know this is from 2006, but I'm okay with a game from the 2000s having a 30 FPS. I'm going to be honest with you, having 32 FPS. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Oh my god, the fucking water overpoured and got on. Oh. The water hit the cup perfectly and like flew out of the cup. That is awful when that happens, and it just happened. Just, I need to get paper towels. Up. What a bother. Oh, bother. Oh, bother. God damn it. And I was doing an okay job at keeping this booklet undamaged. That is... that's frustrating. That is frustrating. Okay. Oh no! I forgot to put a link to the viewer voice poll. I'll have to do that on Wednesday. But if you haven't voted yet, on Discord, Twitter, and on YouTube, there's a viewer voice poll going. So you'll decide what we play on Thursdays. If you're on Twitch, I don't think there's a way for me to do that. Not simply because I don't have the ability to, you know, make polls live during live stream, but also just because I don't think I have the ability to have a poll going when I'm not live. And it's meant to be a multi-day poll, meant to be up for 3 days. So sadly on Twitch, unless you're on one of the other platforms, you just can't participate in that, and I'm sorry about that. Okay, let's get the brush. We need 5. Yeah, that was what I thought. Like, you fix its frame rate, and I'm getting less. Yeah, you're getting less now. The thing is, the idea was probably to give it a more consistent frame rate. Was probably what they were aiming for. But what that often does is it makes it just go to the lowest frame rate that it can do consistently. Which means you'll go from having, you know, it going from maybe 25 to like 30 frames to it just always being at 25 frames now. And the human eye, over time, will just compensate for those little differences. Like, just like how the human eye can see different frames and, like, tell the difference between different frame rates, it also has the capacity just to ignore it. You know, it has the capacity to, when you are just in the moment, to accept that to accept the range of frames maybe not being the most consistent. But the human brain is kind of crazy like that. Tissues, What's this? Oh, this is the Gundam X episode. Oh. Okay, Arnie Oh, that's actually a nice story, how Arnold Schwarzenegger got the Terminator role. Because he actually went in to get the Kyle Reese role, you know, the hero character from the first Terminator movie. He actually auditioned for that role. But when he was in there, you know, James Cameron was like, I'm not quite sure if you're fit this role. But then they started talking, and Arnie just started talking about the Terminator and how, like, the Terminator's, like, direction doesn't quite make sense. Because the Terminator was directed in the script to be, like, very to overdo its attacks to make it look stronger. Kind of like in a comic book when, you know, you see characters following through in their hits. You don't see... In a comic book, very rarely will you have the hit drawn. You'll have the follow-through drawn instead. So what that means is... Let me see if I can get a mobile suit, 2 mobile suits here. Well, you and you. So what this simply means is, his arm came off, fitting. Is like, you wouldn't have, like, you wouldn't draw it like this, where he's hitting him. you draw it after the hit. And then you'd make speed lines out connecting the fist to the face, is what you would do. And Arnold Schwarzenegger pointed out this is a robot. Is that it's as strong as it needs to be, and it would be conserving energy. So it would just make the hit as far as it needs to go and no more. Is that when it walks into a room, it wouldn't like start looking around for somebody. It would walk into the room, be the tallest thing in the room, and then just start scanning the room. He's just like, this is how it would behave. It'd like be doing all of these, you know, like it wouldn't be over calculating its movements. It would just make the calculations and just do the movements. And James Cameron just goes, do you want to be the Terminator? And he's just like, no, I want to be the hero, you know, like I'm done with being the big scary man. I want to be the hero of this story. And it's just like, I think you'd make I think you'd make the Terminator really well. No, but let me tell you more about how the Terminator would behave. And he's just telling James Cameron like some like really good like just direction for how the Terminator should be behaving. And James Cameron is just sitting there, just like, are you sure you don't want to be the Terminator? And he's like, no, I want to be Kyle Reese. And like several weeks go by, and Arnie just gets a phone call, and he just and the phone call, James Cameron just goes like, yeah, so I casted you as the Terminator. He's like, but I wanted to be Kyle Reese. It's like, you'll make a really good Terminator. Just accept the casting. You'll make a really good Terminator. It's like, okay, I'll be the Terminator. But like it's similar to like the guy who plays the T-1000, how he, you know, walked into it with the right mindset where he's like, yeah, every motion the robot would make would be unwasted. It would be clean and mechanical. It wouldn't be like this fluid, even though it's literally a robot, like a liquid robot, it still wouldn't be fluid in how it in how it, like its body language. It would be very deliberate, and every motion would be conserving energy. You know, every motion would be analytical and precise, even though it's now a liquid robot. And it's pretty much he got the cast for the same reason. Like, he just understood the robot, just like how Arnie understood the Terminator. He understood the T-1000 just like how Arnie understood the T-800. Ooh, is this funny? I want to be the hero. Let me be the hero. And it's just like, Arnie, I'm sorry, but you're like the perfect cast for the villain here. Oh, okay. If you say so. Remember seeing that one incel post about a woman, that women kills every franchise, and the replies are the Avatar 2 memes, women kill Terminator and Alien, and how it goes for the film. Yeah, the thing is, it's writing is what matters. It's writing that matters, not like the gender of characters. The problem with a lot of modern stories, though, is that, like, people treat, like, women like it's either enough or, like, it's a taboo. But it's just like, no, just treat them like a character, because if you treat them like anything else in your story, then you'll just have a bad story. Like Dark Fate, you know, where Dark Fate, you have Terminator, and you have Sarah Connor, who in Terminator 2 is such a key character, and just a strong character in general. Like, I mean, like, performance and writing. And then you have in Dark Fate, she's just this bitter, like, woman who's just like, they're not after you, they're after your womb. And it's like, the problem isn't the fact that, like, it's the fact that it's this bad writing. Like, what made her a strong character was the fact that she was, even though she was, like, badass warrior woman, what motivated her was her maternal instinct to protect, like, John Connor, you know? And you see her doing everything she can to protect her son and the world, even doing things that she isn't sure she should do, like killing the computer scientist, you know, when she goes to assassinate him. She's a rich, complex character, and that's what makes her interesting. But then we have, again, I'm using Dark Fate because it's literally the same character. We have the same character, but executed in all the worst ways. Now that her child is dead, she's just bitter to the world, you know? Even though her motivation wasn't just her son, but to save the world itself. So you'd think that with her son dead, her motivation would become to protect the world at all costs, because that's what he died for, effectively. That's what he was meant to do. So, like, but no, fuck it. Gender is important, yes, but not always. Gender is important depending on the context. Ooh. And there are behavioral differences, but a lot of times they don't really know how to do it. A lot of times they think like strong, empowered women nowadays is just a bitch. And it's like, no, Sarah Connor wasn't a bitch. Ellen Ripley isn't a bitch. They can be abrasive at times, but they're not just walking into a room and being like, I'm the best person in the room, fuck all of you. And mind you, I'm using Ellen Ripley specifically because there is a scene in Alien 2 where she just says, did everyone's IQ just suddenly drop while I was frozen? Like, she has some comments that could be seen as a bit bitchy at times, but she's not like just this... She has a very good reason to say that. She doesn't just walk into the room and be like, everyone's a retard but me. She walks in the room and everyone's just like, oh, hey, let's go explore the aliens and whatnot. And she's like, I've just told you, like, the aliens are super dangerous. Are you stupid? You know, like, her reaction is very understandable. She doesn't just say that. She says it after everyone shows they're an idiot. But nowadays in writing, and this goes for both male and female characters, the writer are just like, well, they're the main character, so you should just assume they're correct. And therefore, when they are an asshole or bitchy, the writers are just like, look, they're the main character, you should assume they're correct. And it's like, no, you have to show they're correct, and then everyone not listening to them, so they have justification for them to be like this. If you don't show them explaining why people shouldn't do something, and then they do the thing, and then they screw up for it, like when they go into the alien hive in Aliens, and, you know, they screw up for it. Alien, like Ripley, if I remember correctly, she isn't like, I told you so. What Ripley does is she drives into the alien hive to rescue them. She takes control of the situation. She takes command. You know, there's no quip about how you should have listened to me. No, she does action. And that's the important thing, is even when she's proven right, she's not quippy or an asshole about it. She just acts and realizes we need to lock in because everyone's dying because they walked into the hive and now are getting picked off by all the xenomorphs. But again, nowadays, they'd have to say something first. They'd have to have that little narcissistic moment where they're like, I have to say how you're stupid and wrong, you know, and waste time saying that instead of saving everyone's life. You know? It's the difference. It's the fact that they have words but no actions behind it. Realize I agree with a lot of red pill stuff, but for the wrong reasons. Concord failed because it was like 10 years late to the hero shooter game. That is true. The character designs didn't help, but it's also the fact that it was what is it? A dime short and $1 late, I think is the saying. With $40 price tag, while most games, yeah, is this too late? And ooh. Let's see here. Because the job was more important than being right in Aliens. Yeah, they get locked in. They know what they're supposed to be doing. The job of saving them, of locking in and saving them, was more important than, you know, validation. When you have these characters nowadays who care more about being validated, care more about, you know, being like, saying that they were right all along, what it creates is a character who comes across as highly insecure. Because they need you to know, yeah, I was right. And then they're going to save people. Also, Twitch chat isn't showing up again. Son of a bitch, I just realized that. I'm sorry. So, Twitch overlay 1.0. No, it's not there. That's a stream elements fuck up if that's still happening, though. That was happening during the karaoke as well. Let me see if I can fix that real quick and I'll get to YouTube chat. I still have all of these. I still have all of these images. I have like 40 images on here that are just not doing anything. Twitch chat. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, Twitch chat is just broken. This is completely broken. I just reset it and it's still... Okay. Yeah, Twitch... Okay, so I'm gonna have to put that in my notes for later to fix Twitch chat. Sadly, I can't know if it's fixed until next stream, but fix Twitch chat. Actually, wait, no, I can check off stream. It'll come up regardless of if I'm live or not. Thank you, Stream Elements, for just apparently crashing on Twitch. I would say actually Terminator 2 is a better sequel. The problem with Aliens is it's a really clean sequel, but I think they sacrificed the aliens' intelligence for the sake of the sequel. To make it like a horrid monster, which I don't think is a problem, I think they kind of sacrifice the individual intelligence of the alien, and they just make it more animalistic for it. While in the first movie, it was very unclear how smart the alien was, and I think that gave into the horror. You're not sure if it's just an animal cunning, or if it's actually a sentient creature. You're not really sure what's going on behind the, like, mind, behind the face, behind, or the non-existent face of the alien. While in Aliens, you're like, they're just animals, effectively. Like, they might be smarter than the average animal, but they're using, like, wave tactics and whatnot, like ants. The Queen's a little bit better, but I feel like Terminator 2 doesn't do that. It doesn't sacrifice the antagonist to any degree. Mind you, the aliens are still scary and intimidating. I'm not saying like they ruined the aliens like some people do. I'm just saying that like it came at a cost, is what I'm saying. While with Terminator, I don't think it came at a cost. They gave greater depth to the machines. They showed that the machines can understand people, that they aren't just 100% evil, while still keeping them as just these engines of death. Ooh. That's just my opinion on the matter. Ooh. So I'd say actually Terminator 2 is a better sequel, though Aliens, with its character development of Ripley, is magnificent. How it takes Ripley, who goes from a movie that is thematically has a subtext of postpartum depression and a lot of other things that I can't talk about on stream, so we're just going to go with the stream safe topic. In the first movie of Alien, it has a lot of topics about parenthood, about birth, about a lot of things, and then Aliens is all about taking that and confronting it and overcoming it. It's a fantastic film about overcoming trauma, and it's, as a sequel, really solid, and it justifies its switch from a horror film to a action thriller, because again, it's about confronting the horror, it's about overcoming the trauma, and that's why it's so solid of a sequel, because its thematics don't run in contrast, but build off. It doesn't go parallel, it builds off. It turns away, but in a positive direction from the original film and what it was saying. I really like both movies. Oh god, but I put Terminator 2 above it simply because it doesn't have as great depth in the character department. It still has really good character, but it doesn't have that rich depth that like runs in contrast but still complements the original story. But I just feel like it just comes a little bit better together with Terminator 2. Let's keep panel lining this piece. But if you mean best Alien sequel, it is just that. It's one of the best sequels of all time, and it is it doesn't have a lot of competition in Alien. You know, when it comes down to Alien, like, what's its competition? Alien 3? You know, the movie that went through production hell? I don't think that's a really good competition. Fucking Alien Romulus? The Member Berry sequel? Do you remember, you know, like, auto-tracking guns? I remember. Do you remember, you know, like, hybrids? I remember. It's like, fuck off. I do not care for Romulus, I'll be honest. Yeah, the karaoke, so, electricity went out in the whole city until 5... Oh my god. I'm sorry to hear that happen to you. Actually, I remember somebody go... I just thought you left because the singing was so bad, but somebody did mention just like, where did Gundam go? I'm sorry to hear that you had trouble, that everything just cut out. Stream Elements being ass? I don't know. It is Stream Elements. Ooh. But I don't know why Stream Elements is so doo-doo poo-poo. Let's apply the second coat. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There we go. Sorry, I overpainted a little. I was getting a little nervous with that mistake. And I just realized I also need to paint this part right here. And I overpainted again, really badly. Trying to remember what my favorite sequel of all time is. Empire Strikes Back is a really good sequel and middle chapter overall in a trilogy, but what's my favorite sequel? I'd imagine the original Alien being a souped up version. The thing is, the problem with that is that they recontextualize it, and that's a drone. So the aliens in Aliens are actually the stronger aliens than the one in the first film, because it's just a drone. Because this is the meta explanation. The explanation is the one in the first film is just a drone, while the ones in the sequel are big warriors. So they're bigger, spikier, and meaner. And it's just like, I feel like the retcon should have been that was an immature queen or something. Is that technically all drones can become queens, which I actually really like that about alien lore. If all aliens can become a queen, the only reason all aliens don't become queens is because pheromones and hierarchy. And I really prefer this lore. It's expanded lore, so it's like whether or not it's canon is questionable. But when they're drones, like the one in the first movie, they can still reproduce by kidnapping people and making them into eggs. And that's how you get eggs without a queen. But over time, one alien can just get bigger and stronger with time, like a shark keeps growing, and eventually become a queen. And I like that lore, because that means every alien is dangerous. Every alien can become an outbreak zone. Every alien isn't just a singular threat, but can form a hive and just run away with things. And I think that's a very terrifying concept, that there is no safe aliens. They're all dangerous on an individual level, but they can become a collective threat very easily. I think that's a really, really, really cool way to, like, have them. But you think you fixed it? Kind of think you fixed the lag? Hopefully there's things you can do to moderate it, if nothing else. If not completely fix it, keep it under control. I know one of my favorite sequels is Escape from LA. But not because it's necessarily a great sequel, but because it's literally it's kind of interesting. It's in one half just a straight sequel, but it's also kind of a parody of sequels. It is meant to be that action movie sequel that goes too far, that jumps the shark, which is why in the first action sequence of the movie, it goes through the ruins of, like, Hollywood. It literally goes through the, like, studios of Hollywood, which have all been destroyed, and then the main character jumps a shark while doing that. And then people were like, this movie takes itself too seriously, and it's like, fucking really? You saw that scene and you thought that? Like, seeing people criticize it for that will never not be old to me. It's just like, you really didn't understand Escape from LA. You really thought, like, you know, you really missed the point of John Carpenter, one of the least pretentious, you know, directors in history. John Carpenter, who, honestly, him having a character jump the shark might be the most subtle thing he's ever done in a fucking film, outside of The Thing. This is not a subtle director, and people are like, yeah, the movie's just too, like, it's too genuine, and, like, you know, it's like, ooh, the movie takes itself too seriously. It's like, you don't know what the fuck is going on, do you? Ooh. That's good. Oh, we haven't even started on this one. Sharpie, no. Let's go back to topics. I've told that story on stream. Oh, here's a question. Why do people call the Zaku face a scuba mask instead of a gas mask? When it's very obviously patterned after a gas mask. Is it just because scuba's fun to say? Scuba. 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 Is it just because scuba's fun to say? Say it, chat. Shit, this is a fucking... this is a Venture Bros skit. Wait a minute. This is a Venture Bros skit. In Venture Bros that happens. Where Hank just goes like, scuba's a funny word. Scuba. Scuba. And then Brock goes, scuba. Yeah, you're right. I love Venture Bros. I'm not sure if that's conditioning or just... Not too many like saying gas mask. It's just a gas mask. Scuba is kind of funny of a word though, but I'm not sure if that Venture Bros thing was just conditioning or a coincidence. Plot twist, Gundam is the one responsible for the sudden blackout. Why would you do that, Gundam? Why would you make your fellow countrymen suffer? By the way, Bandai made a really good Gundam game once and never followed it up with anything. Sounds like a company like Bandai. You know, they let somebody make a really good game and they're like, okay, it's like, well, will you fund a sequel? And they're like, nah, we won't. In fact, we want you to give back the license so you can't make a sequel on your own. Okay, thanks. That's really cool of you. But scuba dooba doo. Oh my god. Behold, Australia Gundam Crocodile. Crikey. It better have a Crocodile Dundee hat, just like, you know, the Maxter Gundam has a football helmet, if I remember correctly, has football pads. You know, has like boxing gloves and football pads, or like how the Tequila Gundam has like a Southwest United States like cowboy hat. It better have a Crocodile Dundee hat. If there's a Gundam Crocodile, it better have... Oh my, no, it has crocodile legs. I hate, no, it should have had a Crocodile Dundee, no. It should have had a Crocodile Dundee hat. It can still have that body. I don't mind the body, that travesty of a body. But should have had a Dundee hat, chat. It should have had a Dundee hat, and in this hand it should have had a knife. It should have just had a knife. That's its only weapon. Just a knife. No beam weapon, no anything. Just a knife in like its one hand that holds backwards, you know, for extra critical damage. God. FromSoft made Gundam Unicorn for PS3. Oh. Hopefully that's a good... I mean, FromSoft has a good record even before Dark Souls, so I'm willing to bet that was a fine game. Ooh. And FromSoft also didn't FromSoft make the... I forget what it's called. Make that one mecha game as well. Ooh. Let's see here. But... the stream started off so fast and then it just ground to a halt. I was thinking maybe we'd finish this kit this week even. Maybe it'd only be like 2 days of building. I forgot I was building a master grade and I'm incompetent. Okay. Let's see if there needs to be any second coats. No, that looks beautiful. That looks fine. You don't even have a first coat on. Damn it. Do I need to apply a second? I painted this side and then just didn't paint all of this side. I didn't paint this either. God. Damn it. This is why I do most of this off. This is why I do this prep off stream. Because I get distracted and rush it, and then I miss things. There we go. That's good. Armored Core, thank you. I was really far off with the name. I was thinking of Mecha Break, and I was like, that is not what it was. And I didn't even want to say Mecha Break because I knew it wasn't the correct thing. I was like, in my brain, I was like, Mecha Break, and I was like, no, that is a completely different company. And also, Mecha Break is like way newer. The game I'm thinking of, that series is Armored Core, has been going on for a long time. Ooh. darn it, because I put it face down. The paint came up. Oh, this paint won't be visible anyways. It'll be visible in my heart. No, we're not painting that. Meanwhile, I'm here rocking my... Oh, racking! Jesus Christ, racking my brain power just to figure out which decals go where. Just look at the picture, dude. Surely there's like a model picture that you can use as reference. Surely you're not winging it. Surely. But I should get a custom acrylic base for my real grade Sinanju. I know you have like mod kits for your Sinanju, but like every time I think of a Sinanju, I'm just like, I hope your Sinanju's good. But I know you use third-party stuff to make the older real grades better. So I'm sure it's fine on your end. Third party. Oh, you're third party, so it's probably a lot better. It's probably a lot better. Oh, would be perfect this time. I think they did a few Armored Cores before Dark Souls. Yeah, Dark Souls. Yeah, Armored Core does predate Dark Souls, like, by a good margin. Like, there were, like, 2 or 3, if not more, Armored Cores. Then Dark Souls kicked off, and they're like, well, we make a lot of money doing this, and we're really good at this, so we're just gonna make this primarily, and even when we make other things, we'll still kind of be making this. Like, and that's acceptable because they're a small company, you know? They're not like, you know... They can produce one game. They're a company that can only produce one game at a time, and they're like, this really works. We're gonna hedge our bets, and it's like, fair enough. Ooh. Ace alternate century episode. Ooh, and I'm not sure if I'm familiar with that. Brother, high grade doesn't have picture with. If it's a high grade, I can't help you. But surely you can find references for the mobile suit. You can look at other mobile suits that have decals, see where they go, and use and just cross-reference with that, even if you don't have one for your particular mobile suit. So if you have like a small insignia for the Federation, let's say it's a Federation suit, you can just look up Federation suits and see where that typically goes. If it goes on the shoulder pad, or if it goes... Or if it goes, you know, on the knee or something. My arm is not stable right now and it's annoying me. I'm sure you can find secondary references if you can't find primary. You can find sister suits or similar suits. Or just other people's customs for inspiration. Just don't overthink it is all you need to do. Go where it feels right. But where it's not too busy, where, you know, where there's areas that might feel too empty, probably gonna go there. Okay, so that piece is effectively done. So let us go and start building. While that dries, let's build the shoulder assembly. So which shoulder? We are building... Shield shoulder is what we're building. Oh, that's a crocodile Gundam. I don't know why I put my phone away backwards. Ooh, postmodernism. I feel like that's a topic for a different day. I feel like that's not the feel of this channel. Oh god! The horror! I have nothing against solo leveling, I haven't seen it. But I do have a problem with soulless copies, and right now it looks like, you know, because it was so popular, a bunch of Korean like web comics and mangwaka, whatever the hell they're called, are just like, well, we'll just do that now, you know? Is that solo leveling is now has been so successful, it has had the greatest curse of any successful brand, and that is soulless copycats. And if you thought solo leveling was bad, which to my understanding, it's not bad, it's just overrated. You're gonna see how bad it can get. It's not gonna go well. Oh my god, you're gonna be like, I miss the writing quality of Solo Leveling. And even if you're part of the camp of like, what writing quality, you're gonna see it. You're gonna see like what it looks like, you know, when you actually have Solo Leveling with no character development instead of like minimal. It's gonna be fucking rough. Oh god. I'm not saying you're gonna be like, maybe I was too harsh on you for Solo Leveling if you're not a fan, but you're definitely gonna see how bad it can get. Oh no. I'm not surprised that clones are rolling out, but it is also just, it's like looking out and just seeing, you know, storm clouds on the horizon. It's like, oh no. This one thing was pretty neat and unique, so we need to water it down and make it just the lowest common denominator for the next decade. Oh god. Oh no. Let's see here. Oh. That's a polycap, so I need this piece and this piece, and a polycap's gonna go in there. Yeah, so Solo Leveling, from what I hear, I know there's a lot of people who hate it, but it really, from the outside looking in, I haven't seen it yet, it has all the hallmarks of something that is maybe mid, and when I say mid, I don't mean like, you know, how people say like mid means bad. I mean like middle of the road, you know, maybe a little bit above average, does some interesting things, has some neat animation at parts, but it's not like revolutionary. It's not even like super great, but it's, if it's your cup of tea, you'll enjoy it kind of thing. It's just that it got praised as though it was like revolutionary. So all the people who went into it wanting it to be a revolution got reality checked, and they're like, well, it wasn't a revolution, so it must be bad. No, it's just middle of the road from what I understand. It's one of those kind of things where over time people can be like, it was okay, it was good overall, but it's just the fact that if you have too much hype behind something, it can make it feel bad for the people walking into it and wanting it to live up to that hype when it's not. Again, it's like Star Wars prequel trilogy, right? Everyone looks back at the original trilogy, and though they're not like 10 out of 10 movies, they feel like, you know, these great classic experiences. Then you go to the prequel era, and they are mediocre by comparison. They're not terrible. They might have bad parts in them. Some of them might have more bad parts than others, but they're not terrible films. But when you have like the expectation of the original trilogy weighing them down, you walk into them and you go like, well, that was bad. But then with time, you're like, no, they were fine, maybe even good at parts. But because you had that expectation, it weighed it down, you know? Kind of just human psychology in general. Ooh. Then you have the sequel trilogy, which is just shit. Which is just like, wow, this is just like, what if we made A New Hope but had no soul behind it? We just took all the sauce out of it and made it a really generic action film. Well, now we know. Thank you, J.J. Abrams. Hey, what if we had somebody who wanted to make a deconstruction of Star Wars and it was good? Well, that would be Andor, and it was good. That would be like, you know, Rogue One, and that was okay. It didn't have as much time to flush things out, but it understood the core mechanics of Star Wars and knew what to change to turn it on its head. But if we did that, though, and made it fucking awful, like, I mean the worst shit ever, well, Rian Johnson showed what it looked like if we had a bad deconstruction of Star Wars. I fucking died while watching. My fucking soul died while watching that film, man. When they started telling the Yo Mama jokes in it, I was like, this is not a serious movie made by serious people. This isn't even a silly movie made by silly people. This is a cynical bastard making a movie that he did not want to make, but thought he could be like fucking revolutionary by doing it differently. And that is exactly what fucking Rian Johnson was. That was stupid even for you. Did it get censored? Because I didn't. But I'm sorry. I think that might have gotten censored because you haven't chatted since. Let me see this. You have not chatted. I'm scrolling since lots of Rapture movies. Actually, holy shit. You might have been fucking censored multiple times. There's literally nothing between there and then. Then and now. And there will also be a group that will hate stuff because it's popular and add flame. Yeah. There's also people who are just professional antis who are just like, anything that's new, it's not as good as the old stuff, and it's like, no, when something is good, you need to acknowledge it, give it credit, or else we don't get stuff as good as the old stuff. You know, nostalgia is normal. It's you know, very much part of human psychology, but you need to know when to. This is the bigger thruster. Okay, so I was just seeing which one was the bigger one. So this one goes in here, and then they both connect to here. I need to take that off later and paint that black in the center, though it kind of looks fine gray, to be honest. Lol. God, I just remember the store art online. It was dubious writing at times, but it's not crazy bad. Then you get slapped across the face with the sequel. I think the sequel, yeah, it's just like, yeah, here's tentacle monsters, and they just start groping up like the character who was like the lead supporting character of the last one. She's now just a damsel in distress, which like I don't have a problem with that trope, but she's also just like a point. Like she's not a damsel in distress who's trying to like help from the other side. She's just like there getting assaulted. Fucking why? Like this is a case where you should have like the damsel in distress, you know, doing things to undermine the bad guy from within. Maybe she does do that. I haven't seen it in a while. Maybe she does do that, but like she just, from everything I remember seeing, she's just like in a cage doing nothing. You know, just to remind you, oh, this is why we're supposed to care for the quest. And it's like, fucking, wasn't she like her own, like she was helping the main character last time. She was her own character. She was like, had her own story and motivations. And it's like, I don't know, no. We're not doing that here. We're not doing that here. Ooh. Ah. Oh god. First half of season 1 was alright. Second half was ass. I remember just laughing in the fucking. Mind you, it's not fair that I laughed at Sword Art Online, but the fact that they're just like, they went out to kill boars and to like get levels, and it's like, let's go out to the like, you know, let's go out to the field and like kill pigs, you know, for levels. And I'm like, I think this was after the fucking South Park episode where they did that, so I just fucking laughed. Like, they literally did the South Park scene unironically, where it's just like, just go out to kill boars, you know, to like, you know, teach people how to play the game and level up. And I was just watching with my friend. We were both playing World of Warcraft at the time, and we were just like, this is just literally just like, yeah, this is, it literally came across as like, yes, I've also played MMORPGs, fellow kids. It is the first episode. I know that's the point of the first episode, is to lead you into like, lead you and the characters into a false sense of security before it's like, the twist is, it's like the Matrix, bro. You die in the game, you die in real life. I get that. But also this was when like, you know, my friend and I were like Beavis and Butthead age. So we were just like looking at it going, you know, just like laughing and making fun of it. You know, just like a Beavis and Butthead watch MTV and laugh at it. Ooh. So we were just at that age as well, where we're just like fucking, yes, fellow kids. So we were probably too harsh on it for its time. Let me see if I can, fun fact about, Kel. About Kel or Plo Koon species. Okay. That they were all force sensitive, from birth. There are some races like that, like the blind race. When Star Wars Dark Forces, the Inquisitor is a good example of that. If you don't know Star Wars Dark Forces, don't care. But there's a race with no eyes and how they sees us with the Force. Now, not all of them can, like, use the Force and whatnot, but they all effectively have, like, echolocation with the Force, is what they have. Ooh, and that's how they see. And they just kind of wear, like, Geordie LaFord visors, but different. They just all wear, like, these, like, little things over their eyes to be, like, that you could obviously not see out of, so it's just like, they're blind, they can't see anything. Which must suck for the actor, just having to put on a blinder every time you get on stage, because they had live action cutscenes for that movie. that's probably annoying, but yeah, there are races in Star Wars that are all Force sensitive, but they might not be Force empowered. And Plo Koon, name means adventurer or wanderer. Good name for a Jedi. Oh yeah, so was a victim of itself. They stretched it out after season 1 and Milk for Money. That's a lot of franchises, to be fair. That's a whole lot of franchises, to be fair, where it's like, this made a little bit of money. Let's just keep doing that forever. That's a lot of things. I feel like we could have been talking about like half of serialized anime that could just describe it, to be honest. No offense, but that could describe a lot of things. It's not like the guy who makes JoJo's Bizarre Adventure who's like, yeah, like, I just reinvent my story every time I write it because fuck it. And it's like, why don't you just make a new story? And it's like, I already have these characters. Like, you're literally making new characters every time. Half the time you're making completely new power systems, like, you know, with each new story. And it's like, I really want to bring Joseph back for this. And it's like, why? So I can establish he was an adulterer. Why? Wait, what do you mean you're gonna bring Joseph back just to establish he was an adulterer? Yeah, that's how this guy's a Joestar too. I don't want him to be like Jotaro. So Jotaro's too young to have a son. Jesus fucking Christ. Like, what are we doing here? And it's just like, don't worry, it's just a silly adventure. It's just a silly adventure manga. And it's like, fucking first 2 arcs of that series. First 2, like, mega arcs, I guess you could say, of that series. Building up hockey as the power system. Almost said Stardust memories. What is it? Stardust Crusaders? Is that the name? Whatever. Crusaders. Hockey's stupid. I don't like this power system. You know, it's just, it's not as fun. I just want to have people being able to summon, like, you know, their inner spirits and they have Pokemon powers. But then he's like, wait, what if I just make it, but by Pokemon powers, like, this guy summons like a guy with a sword. This guy summons like a chicken that shoots fire breath. And then what comes after Crusaders? The one with the guy who has the pompadour. Then he's like, that was not nearly crazy enough. You know, like, at the end of the series, he starts realizing, like, he can get a little more esoteric with the powers. They don't need to be, like, so straightforward. He can get a little more crazy with the powers that the stands have. And holy crap, does he get crazy. Well, I forget what it is, but one stand is just like, it'll kill you if you're moving less than like 60 miles per hour. And it's just like, how do you beat that? And it's like, I'll find a way. I'll just write a way to make him beat it. Don't worry. Get on a motorcycle. Don't worry about it. It's just like, Jesus Christ. But so like, yeah, if you go less than 40 miles per hour, the stand will just grab onto you and suck the life out of you. And it's like, holy shit, that's powerful. Includes a mangaka character. He's effectively God. What did he mean by this? His stand can just do anything he wants it to in the story. You know why it lagged? Okay. Is the Yoda race actually called Yoda race? They have no official name. So they are unofficially called Yoda race. Or Yoda's race. They have no official name because they are meant to be a mystery. They are just little green dudes who every couple of 100 years walk into the galaxy from God knows where. Like, nobody knows where they come from. They don't know if they come from another galaxy, if they come from a satellite galaxy, if they come from unknown space. They just appear, and sometimes they're trained by people. Sometimes they just appear as full Jedi Masters already, and they're just there. They're just a race that appears every couple hundred of years. Usually, for the most part, there's always a Yoda race. Not 100% of the time, but there's usually, at any given time, 1 or 2 Yodas, quote-unquote Yodas, in the galaxy. Where they come from, nobody knows. They're like, some people believe they're avatars of the Force. Some people believe they're messengers of the Force. Nobody knows where Yoda's race comes from. They're just literally a mythological creature in this universe that's just casually, you know, part of the Jedi Council for the most part. And they're always light side users. They're always, which makes people believe that they are an extension of the Force to some extent. But they're always light side users, and they're always guides, but very rarely the people who take direct action. They're always the mentors. They're always the one guiding people to the correct actions. And even though they're some of the most powerful Force users in the galaxy, they typically don't take matters too directly into their own hands. Yoda is like the most direct you get with him fighting Sidious. But even then, a lot of time Yodas just will be more passive. You know, they are a lot of times more passive than that. Yoda's kind of almost more the exception. It's there's a lot of lore behind it. Let me see if I miss it's really they just didn't bother to name the race to keep like an air of mythology and mystery to his race is why they did that. Entire race named Bob, or most famous fella. Well, it's just that that's the race we as the audience know, so it's a meta level thing. It's not like, you know, 2,000 years ago. It's not like during Darth Bane's era or like during the Old Republic 10,000 years ago. They're like, ah, yes, you know, Jedi Master, whatever his name is in Knights of the Old Republic. Ah, yes, he's Yoda's race. And it's like, who the fuck is Yoda? Oh, he won't be born for another 10,000 years. Don't worry about it. They're just who they are. Ooh. They didn't bother to get a race name, so they actually stuck with Yoda species. Yeah. George Lucas was just like, I don't want to give them a race name. They're just these little dudes. They're just these little dudes. Ooh. You have Yoda and Yaddle. A lot of people forget about Yaddle because she just appears in like episode 1 Phantom Menace. She's the Yoda with like a big beautiful head of hair, and it's just a female Yoda that's just like there. This is a female Yoda who's just on the Jedi Council, and then she's just gone in episode 2. There's a reason she's gone. In Legends, it's because she literally saves all of Coruscant by sacrificing herself. And then in Disney canon, it's because Count Dooku killed her to, like, prove his loyalty to Sidious. Whatever. You can tell which one I don't care about all that much. But, yeah, there's also Yaddle. Yoda. Fucking, what? How does he come up with these names? How does George Lucas come up with these names? Ah, I need a female Yoda. Yaddle. I did it again. There's not even a pun I can make for that one. Usually I can, like, deconstruct how he made the name as a joke. That one here is just like, fuck it, it's Yaddle. You know, just this Yoda. He probably went like, ah, Yoda. Maybe it should be like Yado. And he's like, Yado doesn't sound very feminine. L has a feminine sound to it. Yaddle. I did it. I did it. You did it again, George. Okay. Okay. Let me catch up with chat completely. They didn't bother. Yeah, they didn't bother giving race a name. Oh, they stopped on the. Oh, I think I stopped on start of the 3rd arc, or maybe second half of the 2nd arc. Ooh. God, I know where I stopped with Sword Art Online. And Sword Art Online, it's like when he forms. No. It's when he gets beaten in the Coliseum. That's when I stopped because I just was bored. I was just bored and knew this just wasn't going in any direction that I cared about. For Stardust Crusaders, that's when I stopped because I was like, this is just a different universe, and I didn't care for the whole like enemy of the week formula that they were doing. I don't really care for it. I'll probably go back and watch the one after Stardust Crusaders, because that one sounds a lot more interesting. It sounds like he's far more committed to the stand idea, and he knows what he's doing with it a lot more. But for Stardust Crusaders, I was just like, this is just not my cup of tea. I loved the first 2 arcs though. I loved Cars as a villain. I loved Dio in his first appearance. Ooh. I just didn't really care for Jotaro. I know a lot of people like Jotaro, and I don't really know why. Jotaro is kind of just a bum. He's not a bum. He loves his mom, and he's a punk with a heart of gold. But I just don't really care for him. Ooh, he's just not my cup of tea. Put 9 decals of Earth Federation logo on the gun cannon so that the Federation forces didn't shoot the gun cannon. Friendly fire happens, bro. Just accept it. Just accept it. It's gonna happen. 3. And well, change the exit Zamel on the base on FOC. Okay, I thought you were talking about the Zamel mobile suit, but now I feel like XML is an abbreviation for something else. and forgot to change it back when I changed the Yoden mod. It becomes very okay. So it's this you had the wrong mods loaded. Oh, you probably didn't. I was just behind in chat, so you probably didn't. I'm so tempted to put another EFS logo on the leg. Ooh. Listen, if that leg gets blown off, they're gonna have to know whose property it is. Welcome, Derek. Welcome. She was in the EU before that, was she? Knowing George Lucas, I'm kind of surprised that he was like, yeah. Well, to be fair, it might be like a Halo situation where, like, people knew she was going to be in the movie, and so they released a novel before Phantom Menace came out, and so she was first in the EU, or she was already like an EU character long before even that. I don't know which one it is. Yaddle actually appears in Jedi Tales. She was always canon. Yaddle was always canon because she appears in Phantom Menace. She was just sitting on the Jedi Council. She was always canon. And I didn't even notice her when I watched Phantom Menace. Like, I never noticed her. Because she's just sitting there. I never noticed Yaddle once. Until I was, like, in double digits in age. And then I just saw a figure of Yaddle. Because it's Star Wars. Everyone has a figure. And I was like, why does Yoda have a wig? And it's like, it's a very nice wig, but why does Yoda have a really nice flowing set of hair? Like, did he get insecure about his baldness? And it's like, Yaddle? Who the fuck is Yaddle? That's how I learned about the character. Watch the movie multiple times, never notice them. See the figure. I feel like that's true for a lot of people, where you're just like, I don't know this character, and then you just see a figure, and they're like, oh. And if you look on the boxes, a lot of times the Star Wars boxes will tell you when they appear in the movie, because you probably didn't see them. Like, there's characters who appear on screen for like 5 seconds, and they're like, make a toy of him. I love it. Okay. So, only bad guy suit I see is, on this list is the Hyzak. That's why bad guys is in triple quotation marks. The bad guys. Oh god. No, it's stacked. George, make a stroke noise while naming aliens. Absolute cinema. I mean, fucking I'm still upset that the fucking naming meme for Tolkien isn't used for George, because it works so good with George Lucas. I will never get up and up over the fact that people don't do it. The Tolkien memes are hilarious. It's like, an ancient spider. Well, I can't just name it spider. What's spider in, like, ancient Greek or something like that? And it's like, lobe. That's a good name. But it's a woman spider. I have it. She-lobe. You know? All those things. It's like, this character has to clear his throat. He goes, Gollum! Gollum! That'll be his name. Like, what should I name him? You know? Like, the Tolkien naming convention is hilarious. But I love the George Lucas one so much more. I always go to this one as the example, but it always has to be... The character is quite insidious. Darth Sidious. But that can't be his name. That would be too on the nose if he's, you know, if he was Senator Sidious. You know, but he's still quite the mischievous fellow. I know! Sheev! Sheev Palpatine! And it's like, what are we fucking doing? What are we doing, George? Ooh. The character comes from a long lineage of like good pilots. Skywalker. What are we doing? What are we doing here? Ooh, I think I put that on too early. Before we have Earth Federation Force, we have the UNT Spacey. I put this piece on too early. Oh, you mean her death, her canon death. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, in the expanded universe, how she died was just, again, she just saved all of Coruscant from, like, a reactor blowing up, effectively. She took all of, like, the energy into herself, and that killed her. Kind of a hero. She was actually doing that mission with the really long-necked guy on the Jedi Council. If I remember correctly, I don't know if you're gonna remember this guy. If you watched Robot Chicken Star Wars special, he's the one Jedi Council member who nobody listens to and they make go get pizza. And because he goes out to get pizza, he wasn't at the Jedi Temple when, like, Order 66 happened. And so the whole skit is just him, just becomes, like, repeated skits of him just going throughout the galaxy in disguise. Like, at one point, like, he's like a pizzeria owner and then Palpatine walks in. It's so fucking stupid. But he's just that long-necked alien. He just now has, like, a fake mustache on. And he's just making, like, boppity-boopities. I miss Robot Chicken. It might still be made, but I miss classic Robot Chicken. It was just all over the place. Games Workshop is amazingly bad. Games Workshop makes a lot of interesting decisions. Like making the squats who come from high gravity worlds, and they're like, you know what we'll base their vehicles off of? Low gravity moon landers. And it's like, I feel like that doesn't quite fit. I don't have a problem with the vehicles, but it just doesn't quite, having these like kind of lighter, bouncier looking vehicles from like a race who are literally short because they come from high gravity worlds. It seems a little bit incongruous. You know, it's like, well, they're like runic space dwarves and like, well, they're like runic dwarves in space. It's like, they kind of just feel like little space marines. They feel like, you know, just like dwarf space marines. It's like, well, they have runic things. They don't have enough runics. They don't have that like integrated well enough. Like, it feels like it's kind of just been boiled down where like, we gotta make them look like space marines to make them more marketable. It really feels like you kind of don't, like, that's the thing. Classic Games Workshop, everything was super diverse. Nowadays, it seems like things are becoming more and more homogenous, like having more homogeneity, that they're having more homogeneity. I got there. That they're more homogenous, they have more whatever, fuck it. They're more homogenous. Is that the factions feel like they're being made more homogenous nowadays, which isn't ideal. Ooh. Who's that girl? Shakit? That one that dies. Oh, okay. You're talking about Shakti. Shakti, who has so many deaths that it was a meme in the 2000s because she was supposed to be but killed by Grievous in the animated show, The Clone Wars, but then she was supposed to be used in the movie and die in the movie, so she doesn't die in Star Wars Clone Wars. But then it was changed that, like, she wasn't taken hostage by Grievous, so instead of being taken hostage by Grievous and dying, there's a deleted scene from Revenge of the Sith where Grievous kills her. That doesn't appear anymore. So she died, but then didn't die. But then she appeared there's a different deleted scene where she's in the Jedi Temple and she gets killed by Anakin. But then that scene was also deleted. So George was like, no, I don't want her to die there either. So like when, Obi-Wan Kenobi's watching the footage of Anakin killing everyone, Shakti was supposed to be there and be one of the Jedi he kills, but then that got, like, removed for some reason. Then in Force Unleashed she appears and she's killed, but nobody accepts Force Unleashed as canon, whether you're EU or not. So, like, that's just not canon. Nobody acknowledges canon. So, like, every time she appears, she dies, but also, she doesn't. And I think that's one of my favorite memes of Shakti, is that they just keep retconning her death. They're just like, it would be really cool if she died, and then she doesn't, or the story isn't canon anymore. It's just Shakti, same race as Ahsoka Tano. I fucking hate these pronunciations. As Ahsoka Tano. Yeah, she just keeps not dying. Shakti would just not die for the life of her, ironically. If you look at the original ARC 78's box, it's labeled und spacey prototype blah blah instead of ESF. Oh, UNT. Instead of EFSS prototype blah blah. Oh, that's neat actually. Enhanced Primarch Ferris Manus. How do they come up with these names? How do they come up with these names? For those who don't know Latin or Spanish, Ferris probably means iron. I can't quite remember. But Manus is literally where the word mano a mano well, where the phrase mano a mano is Spanish for hand to hand. So his name is just, I'm pretty sure Ferris, yeah, because Fe is iron on the periodic table. So yeah, his name is literally Iron Hand. What should the leader of the, leader of the, I know his name, but leader of the Raven Guard be called? Corvus Corax. It's just, one of my favorite things though has to be the misunderstanding that Mag Uruk Thraka, they're like, oh, that's Margaret Thatcher. No, it's literally black speech from Lord of the Rings. It's literally taken from like the tongue of the orcs from Lord of the Rings, and it means the Great Black Orc. It has nothing to do with Margaret Thatcher. It just, like, it's not a pun. The writer, the people who named Gazgul Mag Uruk Thraka literally was like, no, it literally means Gazgul the Great Black Orc, because he wears great black armor. That is why. And it's like, that's very orc. That's very orky of him. Has nothing to do with Margaret Thatcher. It's like, well, he's called the Iron Orc, and Margaret Thatcher was known as the Iron Woman. It's just a coincidence. I know it's English, and like, and the thing is, these are English people. They would love to be like, yes, we were making fun of, like, you know, a politician. They would love to say that. So the fact that they're like, no, it's just a coincidence, tells me it's a coincidence, because these people have a long history of political satire. Yeah, she gets pushed into a big door while dueling Count Dooku, and I believe she, like, lifts the door off of her, but she's, like, deeply wounded, and then Dooku finishes her off in front of Sidious. I haven't seen the full episode, though. I've only seen bits and pieces. Homogeneous. Yeah, but homogeneity is also a word. I said it fine there! I said homo so many times while trying to get there. The thing is, I kept on saying ho-no instead of homo, so that's why I said homo so many times. Fuck, Twitch. Yeah, fuck, if I get reported on Twitch for that, I'm gonna be so pissed off, because I literally wasn't saying homo in that way. If they have, like, an auto-mod system that's like, he said homo a bunch of times, I was literally trying to say homogeneous. I was literally trying to say homogeneity. That's the problem. I was trying to say homo instead of homogeneous. That's the problem. I kept trying to say homo for some reason. So I was trying to say homogeneous, which is not a word. My brain just didn't function. It was just like, I'm gonna leave this one out. So it's typical. My brain just was like, I don't want to participate anymore. Schrodinger. Fucking my pronunciation is terrible today. Schrodinger's Jedi. She really is. Oh, that reminds me. I can't remember who posted it. I think it was Ricey, but I don't want to give wrong credit. But somebody posted on the Discord a very fun meme that I enjoyed. I think I've seen it before, but I don't quite recall. But let me see here. Was it Teach Me How to Meme? Yeah, it was posted by Ricey. But it was, is a so random. It's like, Sigmund Freud would be woke. Sigmund Freud wouldn't be woke. Sigmund Freud, if he existed. I am quite fond of Yoshiyuki Tomino. And Tomino's just like, thanks, bro. If I was Sigmund Freud, I would also be quite, I mean, it makes perfect sense. He's like, wow, you can, like, everyone says I'm a bozo. I didn't know what I was talking about. Then Tomino comes along, writes one line of dialogue for Char Aznavour. He wrote more than one line, but there's one line in particular of Char Aznavour of him saying Lala could have been like a mother to me, and everyone's like, I feel that on an emotional level. And then Sigmund Freud from the grave was just like, I fucking told you. I fucking told you. I told you, motherfuckers. It just cuts to the grave of Sigmund Freud, and he's just dead. He's just like mummified, and just a little smile goes up on his face. When that movie was released. Ooh. That's what we should do. We should just put like a flat screen into Sigmund Freud's coffin and just have Char's Counterattack playing on loop. I think he'd like that. I think he'd enjoy that. Both had mother complexes, yeah. Shakti, be like, let me die already. Nah, Shakti, it's way funnier if you keep surviving somehow. And it's not because, like, what the funniest part is, she's not surviving because it's like, oh, hey, we wanted to bring her back so she didn't actually die. It's more that, oh hey, that's just not canon. So that's what makes it so funny. It's not like bad writing where she did die. It's that they like thought of making her die. Sometimes they do kill her. And then they go like, well, that whole story or that segment of the story just never happened. It's never finalized. It's never canon. So she just dies a bunch of times in alternate universes. So there's just a shitload of alternate timelines where Shakti just dies. But I want to believe Shakti's still alive. I think canonically she died during Order 66. I want her to be alive because I just think that's funny. I just think it's funny. I want more versions of her dying because it's funny to see. I think actually they did recreate the scene where Anakin kills her in the temple, which is bullshit if they did. If Dave Filoni was a real fan of Star Wars, he would not have canonized that. If he did canonize that she died in the Jedi Temple, he is not a real fan of Star Wars. I'm just gonna say that right now. I don't know if he did, but if he did, all of his credentials are wiped clean. Okay? If he killed one of the greatest memes in Star Wars, one of the greatest deep memes of Star Wars, I would never forgive him. I hate you! I'd go full Anakin on Mustafar. You turned them against me! You did that yourself! Oh god, when he's just on fire and screams, I hate you, that shit's just rent-free in my mind. I love the outtake where, like, you know, he's on, where Hayden Christensen is like, you know, he just goes like, I hate you. You know, he just like kind of like lays, you know, like like a little fairy and goes like, ah, I hate you. That's one of my favorite outtakes from Star Wars. Okay, so we need a polycap. We need polycap 1, which I think I cut off by accident. I think it's this one. It is. And then it goes here. It goes in like this. I need some ginger ale. My throat is killing me. He would, like all of Gundam, everyone has parental issues. Dude, everyone does, man. Man, you get fucking. What's the least interesting who's the least interesting Char clone in all of Gundam? Quatra. You know, why is he the least interesting Char clone? Because he has the least parent issues. It's like you can't have it without those parent issues. Who's like one of the most interesting Char clones? Zex. Why? Because he has very dark and intimate like family issues. It's just a really good way to make a character. Just give them family issues. Like, you immediately go like, I have family issues. You always have one person in your family where you're like, I got issues with that person. Maybe you have more than one person in your family. So it's very easy to relate to them. Not to say, you know, our parents, you know, were assassinated by their supposed best friends who then, you know, use that as a chance to do a coup and take over their country and then, you know, led to a civil war in Earthsphere, you know, or a war of independence, depending on how you want to frame it. Like, listen, not to say we can relate to that part. We've all known a family member that we've had, you know, trauma with. Drama and or trauma. I'm looking for the ginger ale because my throat is actually fucking burning right now. Because I ate very spicy food before stream. And I just don't see the ginger ale anywhere. Actually very confused at this moment. I had to hold up. I think it's outside this room, so I'll be right back. I was wrong. It was right here. It was just literally right behind something. If you ever stream, I unironically recommend Canada Dry Ginger Ale. Not to stay hydrated, but just because ginger ale is really good for your throat. Holy shit. If you don't want to do ginger ale, lemon water with a little bit of ginger would also have the same effect. But ginger's just really good for your throat in general. So like ginger water, ginger ale, Just something outside of just normal water. Water is good to stay hydrated, but to keep those pipes lubricated, you want ginger ale. That is a horrible fucking way to phrase that. I am sorry. I am sorry. That is the worst way to keep them pipes lubricated. Lubricated? Lubricated? That's not a word. Fucking hell. These pipes are lubricated for you, big boy. Get over here. Fucking hell. Oh god. Although Freud was completely wrong about Oedipus complex, the Oedipus complex is a little more nuanced than a lot of people set up for. Since Oedipus kills himself out of shock after finding he fell in love with his mom. That's true, he stabs out his eyes. But the Oedipus complex isn't meant to be, I don't know if it's meant to be for everyone, but it was meant to be the idea that, like, you are formed, your influences on relationships are formed by positive and or negative interactions with your mother. And the actual concept of an Oedipus complex is the fact that there's also a reverse Oedipus complex, where if you have a good relationship with your mother, that will inform you to find somebody who is similar to your mother. If you have a bad relationship with your mother, it will inform you to find somebody who is dissimilar than your mother. It's just the idea that your mother is the framework. Not that you want to fuck your mother, but your mother is the framework for who you would look for in a partner, positively or negatively. And that is not incorrect. It's just that he might have made more extrapolations after that, but the basic idea that the mother is like your primary source for positive and or negative interactions, and you will base subconsciously your future partner off of that, positively or negatively, is correct to a degree. It's just that Sigmund Freud was so early in his time and such an early psychoanalyst that he also, and because he was German, mostly because he was German, he then made leaps. He then took what he understood and went farther, and he made not logical, illogical conclusions from logical premises. So that's really the problem with Freud. You know? And the problem is because of his illogical jumps, his maybe not things that don't hold up too well, because he leapt to conclusions. Because he leapt to conclusions, people throw out everything that he said, and I don't think that's fair with Freud. Don't get me wrong, he's no Jung. Fucking Jungian psychology is way better, but Jungian psychoanalysis is way better than Freud. But there would be no Jungian psychoanalysis without Freud first. It's like how if you hate, like you might, in terms of philosophy, it's like some people fucking hate Plato, but you wouldn't have but you would not have Aristotle without Plato, you know, because Plato literally taught Aristotle. So you need to appreciate the bigger picture. And so I think it's a very big mistake when people do just throw out Freud completely. Because again, you wouldn't have those later people without Freud. Clip it. Clip that one? Of course you clip that one. That is very correct. Your mother is the female figure you interact with most in your formative years. Yeah. To my knowledge, I don't think... Clips ended. Okay. I still need to... this week I'm planning for the clips to be... I'm actually going to say it's going to be the Crash Bandicoot clip, and I think the ball clip. There's something else I wanted to clip, but I really want to make the ball clip into a short where I build the ball and I mess up at it, and I just have a crash out. Where I build the simplest kit in possibly all of Gundam, and I fuck it up, and I literally just go like... I just do that in the middle of building it. I should not have done that, because that made the Vernier come off. But I literally just like, I'm looking at it, I realize I fucked up, and I just throw it across the camera, across the table. I'm just like, son of a bitch. But I couldn't make it a short last year because it was like 2 minutes long of me just crashing out. But now you can have up to 3 minutes as a short, so I can finally make that a short. But for some reason this feels like it should be able to go up higher. And next week, I really need to lock in and finish the GM review. Sadly, I realized that I did make one mistake in fixing the GM, and that is I have finally fixed the GM where it doesn't fall apart in my hands easily anymore. If I shake it around, it'll still fall apart, but it's not like I can't just hold it and do this. Like, I can't just grab it, hold it on the side, and have its arms fall off, or so I have its legs fall off. I can't just grab it by its arm and have its entire body fall off anymore. I have mostly fixed it. But this means that when I'm taking shots for pickup shots of, you know, having it fall apart in my hand, no longer work. So now I need to go back to the streams from last year, find the footage of it falling apart in my hand, and then use that in the review. So I have to do more work. I was like, yeah, I'm done. And then I try to do the pickup shots, and I'm like, oh no, I fixed it. Oh no, it's no longer shit. It's no longer a hand grenade. Oh, the humanity. I fixed the gunpla kit. Okay. I don't think I've ever been upset at fixing a gunpla kit before, but somehow I found a way. I found a way to make fixing a kit a bad thing. Actually, though, when I went to find a clip for the video... Ooh, I need to plug this part in first. I just went to, you know, like the streams that I knew that I talked about it in, which aren't always GM reviews. Luckily, it's always at the end of stream, so it was easy to find the clips, but literally I went to it, I just clicked at a random part in the video, and when I clicked at that random part, I just hear myself go like, you know, I've never built a kit before, and thought, I don't want to rebuild it. Like, I've never felt that more than this moment. Ooh. And by that, I don't mean, like, build a second one. I mean the fact that I had taken its arms and legs off to paint it, and I just had it on display with its limbs off, and I was like, yeah, that's it. I'm not gonna put the limbs back on. I didn't know I was that broken by the kit when I first built it, because I was, like, immediately after I built it, I was like, yep, this kit's done. I'm not gonna put the limbs back on, because they're just gonna fall off again. I didn't remember it was that, like, it was worse than I remember, in all honesty. Why did I cut this off? This is not the right piece. This is very much not the right piece. GM exploded at the slightest touch is lore accurate, but it's a GM command. If it was a normal GM, I could be like, you know, they just made a lore accurate GM, it's fine. Ooh, I can make jokes, but it was a fuck, that was the wrong piece again. We're just cutting off all the wrong pieces, but it was a command. It was literally the Ace mobile suit that still gets wrecked in most of its depictions, but sometimes it does cool things. Oh my god, is this the fucking pain? The pain, Pecco. Going back to Kojima, I do find it funny how just... I feel like the Kojima version of that meme of just like, Kojima's woke. No, Kojima isn't woke. Would just be, Kojima's woke. No, Kojima isn't woke. I am quite fond of Pecora. And she'd just be like, thank you, Pecco Pecco. That has to be a fucking Kojima meme. Surely that meme has to have already been made. That has to already exist. I cannot believe it wouldn't exist. Metal Gear Solid, like Kojima would say Metal Gear Solid is woke. No, he wouldn't. I'm fond of Pecora. This complete non sequitur. It's like the George Washington one, which is one of the earlier ones where it's just like George Washington would be woke. No, he wouldn't. And it's just like, I'm quite fond of Hatsune no Miku. Oh, God. Would there eventually be a real great Sananji stream? I don't like building things that I know I won't enjoy is the problem. But then again, it might have the opposite effect in all honesty, where I build something like, you know, the GM command type, and I'm super optimistic about it, only to be disappointed, and so I'm more disappointed because I had that hope for it. The Sinanju I'm walking into thinking it's bad, so if I build it, and it's not completely dog shit, sorry for cursing, but if it's not completely awful, I'll probably end up going, this isn't too bad. You know what? This isn't too bad. In that context, that might not actually be a bad idea. Sadly, I don't have it in my backlog, and I have too many things in my backlog. Ooh. I have too many things in my backlog to be buying it myself. And you might be like, you just bought the RX-78 2.0 real grade. Yes, that's why there's too many things in my backlog, because I keep buying things. This is the problem. I'm telling you, I can't buy more things and I'm still buying things. Like, this isn't a point to like how like I can still buy more things. It's the fact that I am not making the right decisions. If I had nothing in my backlog, the Sinanju sign would be a lot more like the Sinanju would be a lot more likely real grade. But right now, I would not put money on it, sadly. There'll be, in all honesty, because of all the negative reviews, I would probably like it more than the average person because I'd expect it to be awful. So when it's not completely awful, I'd be like, this is okay. Kind of same thing happened with the Zagok real grade, where people were like, this is like a travesty, and then I built it and I was like, its arms are a little weak, it's an early real grade, but it's okay. Why are you not lining up, buddy? Okay, that's a little interesting. It's a non-zero chance, but right now I don't see it happening this year. I'll put it like that. Ooh. If I'm a bigger streamer in the future, oh yeah, it could be a punishment stream. Oh god, and I'd have to prep it off stream, and that would be awful. Oh yeah, Mary, I send the face reveal of you in Stream Talk. Oh, this fucking, if it's not Ron Barral or something, this is gonna be really fucking offensive. I was looking at memes and I was like, no, you didn't. Wait, is that guy from Andor? That looks very Andor because everything's dirty. That's how you know that's how you can figure out if something's from like, you know, if something's from like Andor out of all the other Star Wars. It might not be, but it's the fact that it looks dirty like the classic Star Wars, but you can tell it was like a modern picture. And that's what that guy is. That's very obviously a picture taken from like the 2010s, but that is very much like dirty like the original Star Wars. Which is one of the problems with Disney Star Wars. Everything is too clean. Everything is too clean and shiny. Like, people complained about this in the prequels, but in the prequels, it was literally the High Republic. I mean, sure, the Republic was falling and in disarray, but the Republic was the seat of power, and we were at the seat of power in the galaxy. So, Coruscant, you know, the senatorial chambers of Coruscant being clean and shiny made sense. The Palace of Thebes in Naboo looking clean made sense. You know, these weren't scroungy, like, Republic people. But then in episode 3 and even in episode 2, we start seeing that darker side of the universe. We start seeing those more neglected parts of the galaxy. And we still have Tatooine. Tatooine's still a garbage dump. And we literally see a garbage dump in Tatooine. But it's not like everything's not super clean and well organized. And even the dirty things look like they were made to look dirty, but aren't actually dirty, like in the sequel trilogy. That's actually like pretty much the problem, is that everything is made to look like, when things are dirty in the sequel era, in the Disney era, outside of Andor, you can tell they're made to look dirty, not that they are dirty. While in Andor, things are dirty. You're like, this looks scroungy, this looks like it sucks. This looks like the underbelly of the galaxy, and exactly where you'd get rebels from. And that's where you get Rebels from. And that is where you get Rebels from. Sinanju is completely awful, but it is also completely fixable. That's the thing. That'd actually not have to be a half bad stream if I could get the fixable kit parts. Oof. I squeezed on this and okay. That'd actually not be a bad idea for a stream. Of all the real grades, I think would be a good fixable kit. I would actually say the Sinanju would be the most interesting to do. Because you guys have specifically sent links for, like, you know, how to fix the Zaku real grade. And even with that, I'm like, I don't want to build another Zaku real grade, you know? I love Zaku's, but I'm not building another Zaku real grade. Even with it being, like, even being able to fix it and make it, like, a really tight, good kit, I'm like, no. I'm not building another one. I just don't have the spirit for it. But a Sinanju, both the high grade and I have a Sinanju Stein, but I don't have a red Sinanju because I gave both of them to my brother. I built a master grade, gave that to my brother, and I just gave him the high grade to build himself. Ooh. There we go. That wasn't lined up properly. But the Sinanju Stein, I've never made a real grade. I like the mobile suit, even though the real grade isn't very good. And it would be honestly on the top of the list of if I was going to buy a real grade, an early real grade 2 fix, it would be the Sinanju Stein. Still almost certainly not happening this year. Like, there's a non-zero chance, but that's just a fancy way to say, like, it's single digits. Don't hold your breath for it. But if any kit I wanted to do a repair, I wanted to do a modernization of, it would be the Stein. Even more than the Zaku, which I'm sure is blasphemy because I am a self-purported Zaku stan. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Okay, I thought I forgot to clean off the brush, but I need to put a little bit more liner in here. Okay, and I need to put a little more liner right here. Also, I should have assembled the piece, then done the lining. That would have been a lot quicker. That's not how I did it for the rest of the kit, so... Ooh. That's not how I'm doing it now. Actually, that's literally how I'm doing it now. Rogue One, and his name is Antok Merrick. I mean, he doesn't look too similar, so that is a hell of a coincidence. Ooh. Does he have 2 R's? He has 2 R's. That is really close to mine. Those are the best Star Wars names, where they just, like, misspell a real name. Personally, though, my favorite ones are just when people just have real names. It's just like, this guy's name is Han. This is a real name, yeah. This guy's name is Luke. Okay, this woman's name is Leia. That's a really rare name, but I'm pretty sure Leia's also just a real name. Anakin. Okay, this guy's name is Ben. Okay, like, these are all just real names. I was joking. His name is actually Obi-Wan Kenobi. Where the fuck did that come from? Wait, hold up. These were all, like, real names. Then he just made one up and he's like, surprised it, didn't I? George was like, I know. I'm a master of naming conventions. But it's weird because, like, everyone in Star Wars is always like, yeah, so everyone has to have crazy names. But again, the original cast of Star Wars is, like, even though it's his name shortened, Obi-Wan's name, his nickname, his shortened name is Ben. You know, Anakin is a real name. Luke is a real name. Han is a real name. But for some reason, like, there's this idea in Star Wars that you have to have fantastical names. You can't just have a character named Merrick, even though Malik was named Merrick. Even though Merrick is actually one of the most common names in Star Wars now that I think about it, because this is the 3rd dude named Merrick. But Malik was originally named Merrick. Galen Merrick is a character, that's Starkiller. I cannot believe I remembered his first name, but Galen Merrick from Force Unleashed, his name is Merrick. This guy, you said Antok Merrick? Antok Merrick. Merrick is an oddly common name in Star Wars, but it's an uncommon name in real life, which is why it gets away with it. Then you have Merrick from Deadwood, but that's actually history. Fucking Merrick. But and I'm flattered that you didn't use Merrick from Tombstone, from Deadwood as like being like, this is a face reveal. You know, just use a really fat dude who's a journalist. I appreciate that, actually. I didn't know you were a General Merrick. I don't care for what anyone says. Jabba the Hutt is a hero of the rebellion. That's a fucking Outlaws reference, isn't it? That's an Outlaws reference where when you're fighting against the Empire, there's a chance that that Jabba the Hutt will appear and be like, I'll help you out for the rebellion. And it's just like, that makes no sense. Firstly, like, Jabba the Hutt just wouldn't do this in general, but also, of all the characters, you make it so there's an option for Jabba the fucking Hutt, somebody who worked deeply with the Empire as kind of like controlled mobster shit, to be the one who's like, you know what, I'm gonna help you fight a Star Destroyer. I'm gonna help the rebellion in a very direct and obvious sense. And it's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Fucking. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, don't worry, it's very fixable. I forgot to put on the back of the arms. I just completely forgot. I just didn't. No wonder the arms were like loose when I put them. I was like, these armor is kind of loose. I was thinking to myself, yeah, no shit, it's loose. You forgot to put on the fucking back of the arms. Jabba's an opportunist. Oh, I never finished the Mauler video. It's like fucking 17. It's not like it is 17 hours. I never finished it because it's such a long video. I was too weak, chat. I did not finish the Mauler Star Wars Outlaw review. It's too long. I am weak. I am too weak. Oh god, and I have so much stuff I need to do. I have to watch Gundam X. I have to watch things that are more important. But fuck. Oh god, imagine making a game so bad that somebody has 17 hours of shit to talk about for it. That is legendary. Fucking Jabba the Hutt appearing. I'll help out the rebellion. You're my bros. Fucking what are we doing? What are we doing? It's also funny because if Jabba like was an ally to the rebellion in that context, it's just like, so he enslaved Princess Leia, who was his ally, and then Leia killed him, who was their ally. Like it makes Return of the Jedi so fucking awful. Oh my god, if that was canon, the whole Jabba ending to Outlaws, it would fucking ruin. It wouldn't ruin, but it would make a lot of problems happen in Star Wars and Return of the Jedi. And Return of the Jedi, I love it, but it already has enough problems. It does not need more. And Outlaws takes place right before Return of the Jedi, which makes it worse. This isn't like, you have, it's not between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, which makes sense, because that's like, oh hey, the Death Star is destroyed, the Empire is focusing on the rebels, and so like their eye would be away from like, the chaos of, the underworld. No, it takes place between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, when the Empire is curb stomping the rebellion and is in control, and literally all they need to do is trick the rebellion into one final attack against the Death Star 2, and then cage them in a kill zone and just take them all out. Like when the rebellion is at its weakest and when the Empire is rising again, that's when the Empire is the weakest. That's when there's the greatest power vacuum. No! No, it's literally the movie before that! When the Death Star was destroyed and it was inspiring revolts and revolutions across the galaxy. That's when you want it, not after Empire Strikes Back, when the Empire is starting to get a hold of the galaxy again. Well, I'm expecting modern Disney writing to understand, you know, the geopolitics, the galactic politics of Star Wars, which, you know, which are just so complex, you know. It's not like literally Arthurian legend fucking binary good and evil shit, you know. It's way too nuanced for them to understand. With all the layers of, like, you know, black and white and really no gray. There are gray in Star Wars, but I'm just trying to make a point. Oh yeah, annoying that lore. There was a few TIE prototypes made in the last years of the Clone Wars, which is annoyingly named TIE. What? No, the TIE fighters are called TIE. That is canonical. TIE fighters are called that because the TIE stands for Twin Ion Engine. So it is an acronym. That's always been a thing. So, TIE fighters have always been an acronym. They just haven't had the periods. I don't know why they'd be in, like, you know, the end of the Clone Wars, but they've always been Twin Ion Engines. That's always been a thing. Just classic plot armor. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Let me just see what we have. Ooh, this is nearly a 4-hour stream, which is not what I wanted. But I want to finish the shoulder pad before we end stream, even if that takes another half hour. You might be like, you literally only have, like, all you have left to assemble is just this. How's that going to take half an hour? Fucking, if you think that for a moment, you have not been watching us for long enough. If you're looking at this and going like, this is gonna be like a 5-minute build, you're a fucking fool. You must be new here. Hello, this must be your first stream. This is gonna take a minute. And then, wait a minute. Okay, I thought I was missing this piece. Okay, so I'm not missing this piece. I need to take this, and where's the shoulder? Here's this is the shoulder we need. And you might think that makes me happy. It doesn't. Did I plug in the wrong shoulder assembly? So help me God. Wait a minute. Why is this shoulder so much longer? Did I fuck up? Oh no. No, I didn't. This one goes with the smaller shoulder. Okay. This feels like... Oh, okay, no, it lines up. Visual difference, that the laser cannon is on the outside of both its solar wings instead of under the cockpit. Yeah, look, that sounds like it'd be awkward. One of the good things about the TIE Fighter is that its guns are really close together, so it can fire straight forward. Like, that's actually where you want your guns to be as close together, so that's actually one of the good things about the TIE Fighter. So, making them as wide as possible, very Star Wars of them, like with the X-Wing, but also terrible fucking design. Like, in a grounded sense, that's actually one of the worst parts about Star Wars, is that they love to put their guns on the edge of the fighter, and that is literally the worst place to put your guns. Unironically, the worst place to put your guns is as far apart as possible. Yes, but, difference between them and the later time is called a tie, but for the prototype, the Clone Wars, it is the TIE. So, like, they literally say TIE, so they don't call it a tie, they call it the TIE, so that's just wasting time. This is a waste of time every time somebody talks about it. I can see how that would be annoying. ETA is also... ETA, too, is also technically a TIE fighter, along with the V-Wing, because its engines. That is a good point, actually. Ah! Yeah. That's why the V-Wing is considered a predecessor to the TIE Fighter. Let's see here. And then this one goes here. And this goes here. Am I doing this right? I hope I am. I am. No, I didn't. No, that's very wrong. Because as we established, the smaller thruster, Vernair, because we're building Gunpla. You have to call them Vernairs, chat. The smaller Vernair goes over there. Okay, so this one... Ooh. Are you plugged in properly? You are. No, you're not. I was wrong. You are plugged in. Turn it down, immediately falls out. Did I do it right? Yeah. Damn it. Okay, so you are not seated. I see what the problem is. Okay, I think... There we go. We got it. This goes here. There we go. A high-grade ground Gundam. I would not get the high-grade 17 ground Gundam, but yeah, the 2.0, the revive. I have an Easy 8. I don't really bother to get the traditional ground Gundam, but the Easy 8 is really nice. And I believe there is a revive version of it, which the Easy 8 is based off of. Do not get the Urban Gundam, though. Fucking paint a Gundam black, call it the Urban Gundam. What the fuck did they mean by that? But let's not focus on that. I will never get over that. We made a black Gundam. It's the Urban Gundam. Can we roll that back in Japan? I know you don't know what that means, but like, holy shit, you can't be doing that. Listen, I know you didn't mean it that way, but holy shit, you cannot be going around doing that. You can't be doing that, Bandai. But the Urban Gundam is, I think it's the classic ground Gundam. Ooh, I think it came out before the Revive ground Gundam came out. If you see the Build Fighters Urban Gundam, do not. It is trash. The plastic is really crap quality. I'm pretty sure it's the older mold. Just do not get the Urban Gundam if you ever see it. It is utter trash. The plastic quality is awful. I don't even know if it's boxed. I don't know where that is. I might have thrown that thing away. I don't think I've ever thrown away a Gunpla before. I might have thrown that one away. Okay, so you put this on first, and then you put on the spikes. Okay. I feel like maybe I should have painted the bases gold. I can always take them off while you can't see that because of the black gloves. But I can always do that later if I want. I feel like it would look nice, but it'd just be a lot of work. Taking these off would be a bit of a pain, but I could just get one of these. And you can just, to get this out, it looks like yeah. I can just, boop, just poke them out. Which I do appreciate that I always appreciate a kit that is not like take apartable, like that. Ooh, that you can always take apart if you need to. Can we please? I don't know why this isn't going in. It's because I'm not lining it up properly. Oh, no! Okay, so I just coincidentally got that correctly. These spikes are different than these spikes. They're not all the same. And so they have different plugins. Or, am I going insane? No, wait. Is it like an angled plug? What is going... Actually, I don't know what's going on with this now that I'm doing it. I should paint that, because it would look a lot better if the bases were gold. Or bronze, rather. This is bronze, not gold. But, that's something for after the build, or over Tuesday. But that is the shoulder pad done, and with that, we can assemble the arms. That is the... Does not matter what side we're on. Okay, that locks in. That's good. Let's get the other one. One thing I love about Disney is the New Republic immediately dismantles its military. Yeah, that just makes, yeah. To be the resistance again, somehow completely helpless. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, we beat the, like, Empire. The Empire still like, there's still things you need a military for. I mean, there's still hut space, for God's sakes. Like, not the entire galaxy was the Republic before or after the original trilogy. You know, there's other factions in Star Wars. I mean, Mandalorians have their own sector of space, at least in expanded universe. And then the Republic just goes like, okay, we don't have a military at all. And then like, I don't, like, the thing is it's like, oh, like the First Order comes in and blows up their capital planet and like a bunch of other planets for some reason. But they blow up their capital planet and like 5 other planets because it's like the Death Star but bigger. Fucking who cares? And it's just like, why did they didn't even need to do that? Like the like Republic had no military. Why didn't they just go in and invade the fucking planet? There's no military side. They're demilitarized. Why are they demilitarized while they know that the First Order exists? Bad writing. That's why. Derek, all thanks to the Mon Mothma. You mean the Urban Combat Gundam ground type? Yes. Right, turning them to... Oof. Let's see here. This kit will not age the best. I can already feel it. This is a kit from 2013. To be fair to it, but... Oh god. Oh god, the super tight polycaps are still tight. Oh my god. Jesus Christ, let go. let go. Fuck! Okay, well... Oh, Jesus. Oh my god! Okay, hold up, hold up. Okay, wait. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, those... You know, I feel like I'm not gonna have the problem that I had with the GM. I feel like I don't have to worry about its arms falling off. I don't think I have to worry about that with this kit. Holy shit. Oh my god. Oh my lordy lordy. Oh goodness. We streamed for way too long. But I'm enjoying these streams. It's fine. But, oh my god. That... I was not oh god, no, we... Oh my god, this guy is tight. Holy shit. That's a good thing, but... Jesus. I forgot to put a polycap on this. Let me do that and then we'll be done for the day. Mon Mothma in fucking canon. I cannot imagine how they butchered her. I hear she's good in Andor, but god, you know they fucking butchered her after like Return of the Jedi, because in expanded universe like there's no demilitarization. The Republic literally starts building their own Star Destroyers. Ooh. Actually, I really love the design of the New Republic Star Destroyers. If you look them up, they look really good. They're like really sleek and they give the New Republic their own aesthetic that's wholly unique from the Empire. And you can see flavors from the Old Republic, but it's newer. Actually, it's something I like about Star Wars in general is as Star Wars moves on, things do advance. Where if you go back, like the farther you go back in Star Wars, the more fantastical and fantasy it gets. But the farther forward you get, the more high sci-fi it gets. Ooh. That's actually something I just really enjoy about Star Wars in general. At least in the expanded universe. Bruh, I mean the Star Defender? You mean the Star Defender? It was a Star Destroyer. You can call it the Star Defender all you want. It's a fucking Star Destroyer. It's a wedge shape. It's a cruiser class. Fucking rebrand it all you want. It's still the Republic Star Destroyer at the end of the day. Oh, forget the book. It was about documenting all the French Revolution factions and events, and it got panned for being unrealistic. That's one of my favorite things in fiction, is that if you just translated real history into fiction, there are certain things that nobody would believe you on. Like that one Ukrainian queen who just burned the countryside because like her husband went out and was like, "Hey guys, pay your taxes," and then the villagers went no, and they killed her husband, and she was like, "Well, I'm going to just burn all of Ukraine for not accepting our rule because of that." And she did. She went across Ukraine and just unleashed unholy terror upon it. And there are parts in it that are absolutely insane. And if you took that and you put it into like a story, people would be like, this isn't very realistic. You know, like the fact that she's like, oh hey, one of the first kills she does in the story of her life is she's like, the guys who killed her husband, they come over to her land, you know, they sail a boat over, like on the river or something, I can't quite remember, but they're like, they come in on a boat. And she's like, and they're like, hey, we killed your husband, we're stronger, you should marry us. And she goes, you're right, you are stronger than my husband's, and you deserve, you know, a welcome that is befitting of you, that you will enjoy. So stay in your boats, and I will have men come out in the morning and pick up your boats that you came in and carry them in a procession to my castle. And they're like, there's no way she's gonna do that. But you know what? Let's trust the woman of the husband we just killed. And let's just go to sleep in our boats with just like, you know. And what happens is in the morning, she has everyone go out that she can to pick up their boats and start carrying them towards her castle. And they're like, yeah, this is pretty cool. And then they notice something, and that is that the ground is now above their heads. And they're like, huh, wait, what? And then they get dirt just starts getting thrown on top of them. And they're like, oh shit. Like she threw their boats into giant holes that she had her people dig the night before and just start throwing dirt over them. And they start panicking because they can't climb out of the hole, and if they try to, they get pushed back into the hole, so they're gonna get buried alive. And this queen just walks out, looks down into the hole, and says, does this procession meet your taste or something like that? She just like, is this like what, like this is what you deserve, do you like it? And they're just looking at her in terror as they just get buried alive. And then she does way worse shit to the rest of Ukraine. It is a fucking... But if you had a story like that, people would be like, why would they trust her? Why would they stay in the boat? Why would they do all this? It's like, this isn't believable. And it's just like, you wouldn't believe it, but it fucking happened. The truth between truth and fiction is fiction needs to make sense. Yeah, pretty much. It needs to make sense. You fucking write in a fictional story that two characters met who had no business meeting, who live on the opposite side of Europe, but the one time, you know, the guy from Spain and the guy from, like, you know, Poland were in, like, France. They both went to France at the same time. They never went to France any other time in their life, but they both went to France at the same time. They both went to Paris on the same week, and they met each other in Paris, and then that caused a cascade effect that led to, like, a bunch of world history changing. Everyone would be like, that's bullshit. That, like, it's like a 1 in a trillion thing happened, and now history is different. And it's like, yeah, yes, that happened. That has happened so many times in history, where people just met each other in a 1 in a trillion chance. They never met each other again, and it was in the one time they could have met each other in their entire lives, and then history has changed because of it. That happens so many fucking times because we have records of these people's lives. That happens so many times. And it's just like, how? How does this keep happening? And if you had a story where stuff like that just keeps happening, if you were building a world, a fictional world where that keeps happening, people would call you a hack. Meanwhile, you have freaking LOE up in heaven going, I'll do it again. You have LOE and Jesus just doing, you have LOE going like, ah, maybe I shouldn't do it again. Then Jesus walks over and he's like, do it again. Do it again. If there is a God and he's controlling the universe, he is a hack writer and he's loving every second of it. Oh God. Mon Mothma only agreed because of Leia and Akbar pressuring her to make the ships. Fucking of course. Check Stream Talk. Well, we're about to end stream, so it's the perfect time to check Stream Talk. Real great. Oh my God, why does it look like that? What is that? Coming soon. There's no fucking way. Is that a pat? Wait, is that a? There's no fucking way that's a pat labor. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way that's a pat labor. There's no fucking way there's a real great pat labor coming out. Hold the fuck. Wait a minute. There's no fucking way. I must be misremembering what a pat labor looks like. That's a fucking pat labor. That's a real great fucking pat labor. I want it. Holy shit. I fucking want it. It's really dark, but like, holy shit. A real grade of this. Robot with shotgun. Holy shit. Thank you for that news. It'll sell out. Oh my god. We know when there's a real grade Ava 1 or whatever it was, or was it Ava 2? Don't care. When there's a real grade purple Ava, I was like, not a fan of Evangelion, don't care. But holy shit, Pat Labor. It has really cool fucking robots, really cool mecha design. It's at that like smaller size than Gundam that like makes it a little more physically believable. It is one of those it's one of those like real robots where it is more real than Gundam, but it's like it's more grounded. It's one of those more grounded real robot animes, and it's just, I love the design though. I love the fucking design of the Pat Labor. Holy shit. Thank you for sharing that. We're not warmongers because we're the good guys. No, don't worry about it. Oh my god, and there's a new Vodums. Holy shit, this, you know what, I'm happy I'm happy stream went way overtime because I found out about a new Vodums and a new Pat Labor real grade. Holy shit. Holy shit. I am so happy about, oh my god, this stream went way too long. We are like 10 minutes out from oh no, we're 20 minutes out. Okay, so I didn't realize that. Oh my god, but we're 20 minutes out from 3 hours, but holy shit. I love the Pat Labor design. Oh god, Vodums. I need to finish it. I just have to watch so many other things. But what I learned over the weekend, I did not know this, is that Vodums, when I was talking about like how I love the trope of just like guy opens box, woman inside, you know, which Vodums did. I did not know that Vodums, I don't know if it like was the first to do it, but it was what popularized that. So in Firefly, which is an American show, when that happens, when in the first episode they open a box and there's just a psychic woman inside. What's his name? Guy who no longer makes stuff. The guy who made Buffy. Whedon. Whedon has actually admitted, yeah, he just took that from Vodums. He was like, I really like that because that's a really good narrative hook for like just our story. So I was just like, I'm just gonna take that and put it in our story. You know, Gurren Lagann. It's just one of my favorite sci-fi tropes. It doesn't happen too often, but when it does, from my experience, it's usually a pretty good anime. And it's just, I love the trope of this guy opens box. He's like, what's in this box? Open it. Woman. And it says, you immediately go, why is woman in box? What does this mean? Who am woman? You know, you're just thinking, you know, like, it raises so many questions, you know, and, you know, the answers, you know, aren't really that exciting. It's like, well, it's just a cryopod, you know, or like, you know, it's just another one of like, King Genome's daughters that he threw away. It's important, but like, it's not really like a groundbreaking like discovery when you find out like why they're in the box. It's like they're in the box because it's a storage box and they needed to store a woman for some reason. But it immediately makes you think like, what's the wider implication? It's a really simple but effective narrative like tool. And it's just one of my favorite, like, it's one of my favorite tropes in sci-fi. Just woman in box. Why is she in box? Who am woman? Immediately. Scope dogs are fucking awesome looking. Scope dogs are really good fucking grounded mecha. They're even smaller than I think the Pat Labors are. Are they called Pat Labors or is this the anime called Pat Labor? I cannot remember. I watched the original anime and I don't remember anything after the first 5 episodes. The camera just broke. Great timing, camera. Great timing. So the guy who explained it on Stream Talk. Ooh. No, that is the Pat Labor. New Gundam in Hathaway, new Votom's anime. Oh, Kakarot. Oh yeah, Kakarot. I still find it funny how his name is still Kakarot. Did stream just crash? Oh no, sorry. Camera has completely died. The camera died so hard that it had a notification come up on my computer. The camera is completely dead. Don't worry, I can reset it, but we're not going to reset it. It came up and it literally was just like, boom, your camera's dead, bro. So we definitely can't stream. I could reset the camera. I'm not going to. The picture is fine that we're on. Let me find a place to, like, they're called Labor is the mech's called. In the universe, yeah, and they're patrolling, so I think that's why they're called Pat Labors. It's the po-po, it's the police. Let me find a place to send you beautiful, beautiful people off to. We really need to stop streaming for, like, this long. Like, I'm loving this, but, like, holy shit, we need to stop streaming for, like, 4-hour periods. It's really bad. Pat is police, and it's Pat Labor, yeah. Okay. Ingram or Engram? I only know Laura Ingram, who's like a politician or some shit. I don't remember what she does. I can't remember. I'm terrible. Is Laura Ingram like a commentator? Is she like a not a journalist? I think she's just like a news face. I can't remember. Who the fuck is Laura Ingram? Who the fuck is that? I can't remember. I don't. That's not who you're talking about. But like, now I'm just wondering, who the fuck is Laura Ingram? Oh, you're. Laura Ann Ingram, spelt the name wrong, an American conservative television presenter. It's a dinosaur media presenter, no wonder I forgot who it is. It's like that Rachel Maddow person who just like, who the fuck is that, who cares? Sorry, this is like, that's a name, I've heard that name before. But thank you for sending that, thank you for Kakarot's an old hat, he's pretty nice though. Make some of those lore videos still, it's good stuff. Outlaw Star did it and don't remember which is older. Votoms is like from the 80s. Outlaw Star is like from the early 90s, I'm almost certain. Votoms though was like, let's see here, Votoms is definitely an 80s anime. I cannot believe yeah, Votoms is literally fucking, like, start of the Reagan guy. Wait, no, that's middle of Reagan. That's middle of Reaganomics. That's, like, mid-80s. Early to mid-80s. And Outlaw Star. When is Outlaw Star? Is it late 80s? Outlaw is not Star. When is Outlaw Star? The thing is, the manga would be earlier. The manga was 96. There's no competition. It's Votoms. I was like, maybe the manga was 80s? The manga was 96. The anime was 98 through 99. Oh, I wonder if it had this. I wonder if it. February. May. I probably didn't keep up with the manga. Yeah, it's literally mid-90s at the earliest for Outlaw Star versus early to mid-80s for Votoms. Bottoms, Votoms? I say Votoms. You also predicted the Real Great X Gundam. Fucking please give me a fucking X Gundam. I don't care if it's a little small boy. I want an X Gundam. I have an X Gundam, but I love Gundam X. Give me the Catfish Gundam Double X2. I want that. Okay, okay, let me see what that is before I answer. We need to end, but you know, problem. Having fun. V.A. Ingram. A gun? Tarkov is the first thing that comes up. Ingram. V8, V98. Bandai AV Ingram. Oh, that's a specific model. I forgot it. But by bringing up the model, it brought up the fact that it just has a fucking Magnum. I fucking forgot it has a Magnum. Fucking... I love that so much. I love that Pat Labors, they just have they just have scaled up, like, pump-action shotguns. They just have Magnums like they're Dirty Harry. It's just so fucking fun. I love how, like, you gotta have a more traditional kind of fun anime with, like, the original series, but then you have the movies, which are, like, you know, completely different to my understanding, that are far more grounded and far more, like, police drama. It's kind of like Ghost in the Shell in that regard, where it like has adaptations of the same story, but it focuses on different elements, which is something I really like about Japan, is that Japan is willing to adapt stories with different focuses. Willing to take a story and be like, how can we focus on a different element and tell a story that is the same but different? You know, a lot of times anime gets a lot of criticism for how they adapt manga too directly, and how that can actually be a problem when you, like, you know, do a one-to-one translation from manga to anime. Especially in the 2000s, this was a criticism, is that they did not take enough liberties. But the thing is, once you get that first adaptation out, if something has interesting stories like Gundam, you can get those alternate interpretations. That's why that's why the entire AU exists. And my microphone was behind me this entire time. I was talking in the opposite direction of my microphone this whole fucking time. I am so sorry for that. We need to end stream. The Magnum is a first long-range weapons, but only had non-lethal ammo and blanks. Lame. 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 Listen, lame. You can say it had non-lethal ammo? Okay? Fucking a rubber bullet from a Magnum that size, it hits a person, there's not going to be a person anymore. Non-lethal in quotation marks. Okay, let's find a place to send for Twitch first. But it's very late, so I'm sure nobody's there on Twitch, but we'll do a link just in case. Oh my god. Ooh, we haven't sent you to Atya in a while. We'll link you over to Atya. We have not linked to Atya in a while. Copy. There's a link to Atya. She still doesn't simulstream for some frickin' reason. So we're gonna have to find a new place. So I have to find somewhere else for you. Could still hear fine. Just sounded a bit far. That's the thing. And the distance was weird. Literally the microphone was just like right behind me, so it wasn't like too far away. But because of that, it was probably creating weird sound effect, where it made me sound like I was on the opposite side of the room. Well, like a non-anti-material, so you get hit by something that size. It's probably meant for like either gas, like to fire like glorified gas grenades or stuff, I understand, but still, something like that hits you. Non-lethal. Okay, let me find... Mahler is streaming. Mahler is streaming? Mahler is streaming. VTuber, Hot VTuber Takes by Yama. Might send you there. Yes, they only could use, if they are higher or authorize them, only use, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, they are peacekeeping labors, to be fair. You know, you can, they probably, it's just like, you know, how in for police in America, you know, all police cars have a shotgun. But they, a lot of times have, well, they don't need to, like, call in and get authority to unlock the shotgun, but they are only allowed to use the shotgun if it's, like, certain qualifiers have been met. Like, they cannot stop, like, yeah, as a police officer, if they stopped you for, like, speeding, and then they get out of their car, go to the trunk of their car, and pull out their shotgun, and then go up to your car and tap, like, and go, like, license and registration, please, while holding the shotgun. Like, they can't do that. Now, however, if, you know, you pull over and pull out a gun and start shooting at behind you, they can go to the back of their car and pull out the shotgun, you know? But, you know, like, you could actually probably get, a police officer could get sued for, like, you know, effectively being interpreted as threatening somebody or using undue, threat of violence against somebody when all they need is, a speeding ticket. So, like, yeah, that makes sense. The fact that there are higher degrees that they can go to, but they need either permission or they need to have justified reason to go there. Let me find. They're not streaming. Who are you? Not you. Not you. I cannot send you to Sawa again. I'm really confused. It's saying Mahler is streaming. Is YouTube just lying to me? Yeah, YouTube is just lying to me. I wasn't going to send you there, but I just noticed he's not here. I'm gonna send you to VTuber Hot Takes. I'm gonna send you to this is an artist who works with Edda. I'm gonna send you to her because she is doing some VTuber Hot Takes. Reaction stream, I suppose. But be respectful if you do go there. Remember to have a great day and a wonderful life. We'll be back on... God, I hate the fact that that's still there. I need to put it under, whatever. But I hope you will join us on Wednesday as we continue this build. I pray to God I will have the strength of will to make it not another 4-hour stream. Because, yeah, sure, it means I can get through the build faster with less streams. But I need to sleep. I was supposed to do, like, 2 hours of editing. This was supposed to be a 2-hour stream, and then I was supposed to edit tomorrow's short. Now, I don't have time to edit tomorrow's short. And you might be like, how are you going to make tomorrow's short? I don't know. I've boned myself yet again. So I'll see you on Wednesday. And I'm gonna be panicking all day tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody. Does that sometimes that it's a members only stream? Okay. Oh my god. And if you do go there, remember to give her a like. I need to start saying that. If you do go, whenever you go to somewhere that I link to, if you go and follow the link, always remember to give them a like. Just give them that little bit of support. It goes a long way. But in the meantime, have a great day, a wonderful life, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Let's get Twitch off. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Derek. Bye-bye, Storm. Bye-bye. Opus is already asleep. That's how I know I went too late. Bye, Gundam, Ricey, Zaza. Bye, everyone. Have a good... Oh, wait. I need to end poll. Hold up. If I don't end poll now... The Zaku 2. I have a good chat. And one person picked the Geara Doga, which is just a super Zaku, so I won't disown that one person. It might have been 2 people, I don't know. It was 1 person. I won't disown you for picking the Geara Doga. But the rest of you, you're my guys. I love the Geara Doga. It's literally just a bigger Zaku. Have a good night, everyone.